All right, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, I was waiting for Alodis to go get his food before I started streaming. Delayed the whole thing for 6 minutes. However many of you there are, I just sat you down and said, no, we're waiting for this guy to get his food and to come back. So anyway, hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. The results are in. As you can see here, from the straw poll, the next project for WP Twitch. Over 400 of you contributed in the end. I think the vast majority of that was like when we posted it, unfortunately. I don't think I shielded it very good in the interim time. However, if you have a look, Guild Wars 1, Canton, and Winds of Change is at the top, followed by Zero to Hero Fractals, followed by PvP, followed by the Merciless Challenge Runs, Mirror, blah, 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 which I think could have done higher on this poll. I just didn't sell them very well. But mind you, maybe people agree with me that all of the ranting about Corteria, and we've had our fill of that recently. So, yes, we're currently streaming Guild Wars 1. I'm not in the Guild Wars 2 section at all. I'm in the Guild Wars 1 section, where no one ever looks on Twitch. And we'll see how we do. I'm really excited about this project. We will go with Winds of Change. I'm not going to overrule it. But what we might do is, if it's kind of ended up unfun or something, once we complete the main campaign, we just won't do Winds of Change. And we'll just we'll throw up another poll and we'll see what else comes out. It looks like it could be Zero Terror Fractals Edition. And we'll do that, right? So, you know, Factions isn't the longest of campaigns anyway, so... you know, it's not like we're biting off some ridiculous thing that it's like we won't see the conclusion of until, you know, the sun is gone and we're all miserable and in the dark again. That's not true. So, yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about this, and I guess there's a bit of a preamble and an intro for people who might be watching this on WP2. What we're going to be doing here is treating it for... Here are the things to be excited about. Number one, it's a co-op stream, so you guys will be able to play with me. I will always, 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 specifically while we're in Xingzhou, before we get to the mainland, favor those of you who are on level-appropriate characters. I don't want a ton of 80s wandering around with me with OP stuff. I kind of want a sense of the game. So, if you look like you've just made a new character to play Factions with, then you're kind of in, baby. And we'll roll through like that. Let me start the game here as well. There we go, launching up now, and hopefully nothing breaks when I do this. So there's that element for people who will actually be playing with us. Ooh, do you guys hear that? Ooh, ooh, everybody. There's that element. The other element is stream viewers will be able to vote on stuff, attribute lines, skills, weapons we run. I'm happy to do that. We'll roll the dice. We might not do fastest finger first for every single little one, but yeah, I think that should be really fun. Let me log into this here. I always get really scared doing credential based stuff while streaming, like really scared that some window or something's gonna pop up. All right, let's see, Guild Wars. And let's grab that in there. Let's remove that. Alright, okay, so if we go to gameplay here we go, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, it should work in us. There we go. Yeah, pretty hype, right? So basically, yeah, those of you who create new characters, you'll be able to come along, you'll be able to play with us. But also, what we're going to do as well is vote on things as a broad community. So that's something to be excited about. Another thing to be excited about is the new 2018 graphics and enhanced options and stuff. The game will look better on this series of streams than it ever has before on my old Canton playthrough from a few years back. I mean, it's going to be gorgeous. So even though you're watching a stream and it's only going to be 30 frames per second, if I was doing this on YouTube, you could get 2K 60 FPS. It would be beautiful. It will still be really beautiful here because back when I produced that old series, it was only like 720p or something. But more importantly, there's first-party stuff that the devs are doing now with the game. Doubled the draw distance, the render distance, you could look further out. They've moved the fog around. They've like quadrupled shadow resolution, improved the number of models that can have shadows. They've improved high resolution textures on our player characters when we zoom out too far. The camera can be zoomed further up. The FOV can be messed around with. There's higher AA available, up to 8 times, anxiotropic. There's loads of stuff, all right? There's loads of stuff that they've done. I've covered it all quite extensively on the channel, but now we get to play. And it feels like, to me, Factions is one of those areas that's benefited from the higher graphics a lot more than most. That's another thing to be excited about. Now, the last thing to be excited about that I'm really, really thrilled with here is Umod. Now, I'm going to be as honest as I can here. I kind of want these streams to serve as an advertisement to Superman. Superman is out there. You watching this stream, you might be Superman. Superman is waiting in the wings. He's just a nerd, or she's just a nerd, sitting at their computer desk, innocently watching some streams. And little do they realize that they have the power. They have the power to revolutionize the landscape of Guild Wars 2. And they have that power because they are going to take Umod, a Guild Wars 1 open source suite, and they're going to retool it so that it doesn't kill frame rate in Guild Wars 2. Umod is amazing, and it works for Guild Wars 1, but nobody in the Guild Wars 2 scene seems to appreciate how crazy cool it is. Now I'm going to demonstrate how crazy cool it is right here, right now, alright? So this is the character select screen, of course, alright? Umod can do such wonderful magical things as making the auroras RGB, baby. Oh yeah, look at that. Alright, but in all seriousness, what you just saw me do is I loaded in a texture pack on the fly into Guild Wars 1, thus swapping the default aurora texture with an RGB one, which isn't that interesting, but the concept behind it is fucking phenomenal, okay? Essentially what it means is someone in the Guild Wars 1 community could have retexted these trees back here, or the rocks, or the post, or the chain here, or the way that the fire looks, just like you see in all your single player favorite RPGs. And the thing is, by the time Umod was proficient and good enough at this, all the talent had been siphoned out of Guild Wars 1 and nobody probably did it. But there are a few different texture mods and things out there. But here's the thing, philosophically and like engine-wise and stuff, there's nothing that says, for ArenaNet as a company, they liked and were okay with text mod and Umod in Guild Wars 1. They were fine with it. They had official statements saying, you know, use it at your own risk, we're not liable if you explode your PC, but, you know, it's not malicious, so go for it. They were happy with that stuff. And similar things in Guild Wars 2, they've also gone on the record and said that they're okay, right? So this is within the scope of what ArenaNet allowed, but nobody ever really put the effort in when it came to the sequel. Even though it's the same engine, same blah, 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 that's it. And so Umod does work, but it's low frame rate. So you could do all kinds of different things with Umod. Most of what people do... so just to be clear, in the graphics options, you see this button here, use best texture filtering? Maybe it's that? No, texture quality. You see how it's got low, medium, high? As far as I understand, this is, I mean, from today's perspective, not new at all. But from as far as I understand, this was added later, the high texture quality? But basically, once upon a time, people made text mods that was basically texture packs to provide this before the devs did themselves. Then the devs gave it to us, so that kind of stuff fell away. But that could work for Guild Wars 2. If you guys think about, like, Carl's texture pack, if you think about any game you may have modded in the past where you install a texture pad to look good, a pack to look good, that could be a thing for Guild Wars 2. And Guild Wars 2 is big and popular and active enough that people could do, there could be real talent there. But we need Superman to take open source development of Umod further. So not many people went that far. However, there are a lot of other Umod things involved, such as, let me turn the RGB thing off. User interface overhauls. So let's see if this works, shall we? Boom. Anybody recognize this? Chat? Anybody know what I just did? What I just changed? Anybody? What I just did through Umod is I installed a texture pack that overhauls the UI, and the person who made this texture pack did it as a nostalgia bomb. they've reverted this to the original 2005 Prophecies theming and user interface. That's what they've done here. So you're looking at that. No, this isn't clear UI. But this is a nostalgia pack, basically. This is, hey, let's make the game look like it did way back at release. Okay. Then there's other user interfaces. For example, this one, Blackness UI, which looks much closer to. Or have I messed that up? Let's see, shall we? There you go, Blackness UI. So this is actually slightly black and red. When we get in game, you'll see. I'm doing this whole rant here early, but when we get in game, you'll see it's a lot more profound because we don't have many user interface elements to really look at here right now. But basically, the point is, guys, that we can do a lot of fun things. And in the Canton playthrough, I've got a collection of different texture packs and stuff. I have one, for example, that makes it snow in Canton Center. And the idea behind that is to make Winter's Day exist in Canton. Winter's Day in the original game was not celebrated in that region of the world. There was no Winter's Day festival in Factions. They didn't do it. And it was culturally fitting and lore fitting and blah, blah, blah. But members of the community made texture packs that made it snow in Canton Center. So, you know, we'll see these things and we'll explore these things and we'll have fun with them. So anyway, I just kind of want to do a cool stream here in Guild Wars 1 where we are playing with Umod, so people are like, oh, that looks really cool, how did that work? And it just gets people remembering that this thing exists, basically. So any texture could be replaced with any new texture. That is pretty cool. Exactly. And what's cooler is you don't have to close the client down and relaunch it every time. It does it just on the fly, which is the difference between text mod and Umod. And it's not that there's not talent in the community that would make the texture packs and would mess with, you know, how horses look and stuff. Everyone would like to do that. But the infrastructure to allow us to do that, that's the melting point. That's the problem. The infrastructure is Umod, and Umod does work with Guild Wars 2, is compatible with Guild Wars 2, but, like, kills your frames, so it's not practical. Yeah, I don't know, horses. That's just what I think when I think of other stuff. Right, so, yeah, that's going to be the stream. That's the stuff I'm excited about. And yes, this is, somebody asked me a second ago, it is an entirely new, fresh account. 100% fresh. I'm going to go quickly make some coffee. I promise this intro will not take that long. I'm just going to make some coffee. I'll tell people in Discord that I'm live. I'll tweet, and I'll be back. I probably should have discussed all that stuff right at the start, but whatever. So I'll see you all in just a moment. And if you've got any comments and questions and things, you can drop them, and I will obviously respond when I return. So let's do it, guys. We're going to start. Alrighty then. Alright. Sorry about the intro there, but let's see if I've got this right. Yeah, baby.
Many generations ago, evil walked the shores of Canton. It rode the wind and skulked in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. Much time has passed. Evil has returned.
Hell yeah. Listen, what the people saying, oh, you love this so much, WP. You're damn right I love that trailer. That's a sweet trailer. Come on, that is, someone that said it in chat a second ago, that is the best trailer they ever did. I mean, it really, really, really is. It matches the lore almost perfectly. It is nearly all referenced and expanded upon in the game. And it gives us another, like, window, another insight into an interpretation of Tyria that goes beyond, you know, their 2006 engine capabilities. It's brilliant. And yeah, I don't know why. I guess it's a very long story as to why they don't do those anymore. When Guild Wars 2 was coming out, they were very clear that they found CGI trailers deceptive, if you will, in that they're not really representative of gameplay at all. And I got hooked in with that, and I believed in them when they said that, and I thought, you know, that's true. Game trailers should just be gameplay. CGI doesn't really mean anything. But looking back, I can't argue with the hype. I'm jealous of FF14 players and ESO players and WoW players. Every other big name MMO out there does this kind of trailer. Every single other one has the budget for these kinds of trailers and does them, and they're brilliant. Like, I remember, I haven't even played ESO, but being blown away by the Morrowind trailer that they did. You know, I was blown away by one of the FF14 trailers for one of their updates, and it has always made me sad, I think, that they haven't done this. The truth is, the decision was made before that, though. They never did that trailer like that for Nightfall or Eye of the North either. They did one for Prophecies, but it was really wonky and weird and not representative of the game at all. And then they did that one, and it's like this weird aberration, guys. It's this thing that you don't see anywhere else in this franchise's history, and it's awesome. But yeah, I got more for you. I'm not going to be too good at chat here. I'm trying some stuff. So, fingers crossed. Here we go. Uh-oh. Yeah, there we go. Welcome to the wiki. An Empire Divided, a brief history of Canton. I'm not going to read all of this. It's a huge article, but it's fantastic. And I sincerely, deeply recommend, we'll put the character selected audio back on. You guys give this a read. I might dip in and out of it as this little stream series goes on. But it's brilliant. It's one of the best world-building documents they ever did. Let me just reiterate how I feel about this campaign. The best arena net were ever actually in total at storytelling, I think, for one single product was Nightfall. It's kind of hard to judge the Guild Wars 2 stuff because it's all one big, like, melting pot, and it's very difficult to know where one thing ends and the other begins. But I really do stand by Nightfall. They were brilliant. They were great RPG. They were great at delivering exploration. They were great at delivering a story. They were great at small stories. They were great at large stories. They had that grand scale and that small scale. That was all very good. However, faction was pretty poor generally, and we'll see as these videos go along, these streams go along. But the one thing factions was great at was world building. Really, genuinely incredible. Just the mass and weight of stuff that they throw at you to say, hey, here's a world, here's an area of a fantasy game that you have not thought very deeply about, but we have. It's brilliant. So this is really the big one. I'll give you a bit. An Empire Divided, a selected history of mysterious Canton for the traveling scholar by Lore Master Ermin Rend of Ascalon. This is the 50th anniversary edition, with a new forward by the author. So the first printing was in the year 1022 AE. So remember, we are way back in time. So we're not in 1230s anymore. We're way back 250 years ago and then some. Library of Ascalon number. It's got a reference code there. Inter-Kingdom license. It's got, you know, this is already, you can feel it's oozing and dripping with detail that often is lost in the Guild Wars 2 days. This text is not a work of fiction, but it is based on historical fact as interpreted by the author. Historical facts have been revised based upon new information acquired by the author between 1022 and 1072. That's the year of Guild Wars 1's launch. The right copy within the Kingdom of Ascalon and parts beyond is hereby reserved by Lore Master Ermin Rend of Ascalon and the Royal Ascalon Press. All rights renewed and reserved. Cover illustration by Argwin Grith. That's got a wiki link, which I kind of want to click, but I'm scared of breaking things, so I might not. Right, so yeah, we'll read the forwards, and maybe the ancient history a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to bore people off too quick, because we've got the game to get to. But what a difference an ocean can make. Though only a few hundred miles away from Tyria, the people of Canton have evolved a way of life that is in some ways alien to our own and in other ways comfortably familiar. And despite more than 1,000 years of trade between the Tyrian and Canton cultures, few Tyrians have set foot on the majestic southern continent for almost 200 years. It took almost a decade of effort and a great deal of my own personal fortune to arrange my year-long study of the Dragon Empire in the year 1022 AE, but it was time and gold well spent. During that year, I was able to open new routes for merchants and uncover new mysteries of the nations of Canton. Also, all modesty aside, I established strong cultural ties with the Canton academics and the Emperor himself. In the decades since my epic journey through Canton, those cultural ties have remained vibrant. An exchange program between the Kingdom of Ascalon and the Masters of Xing has resulted in the greater understanding of political, military, and magical issues. I myself had not returned to see old friends and colleagues for many years, but when the opportunity arose to travel along what has become known as the Ermin Rend Trail as Royal Ambassador for King Adalbern, I jumped at the opportunity. What I found was surprising. Contrary to reports of a prosperous empire, I discovered this impression was one carefully cultivated by the proud Canton people and the agents of the Xinlai. While much of Canton is prosperous, the disparity between the wealthy nobility and the more desperate elements of society has grown. The sprawling Canton capital of Kaineng City now covers almost a sixth of the main continent and grows more densely populated by the day. Street gangs, once merely bands of loosely affiliated criminals, have organized and become more powerful in the streets of Kaineng, even as corruption grows in the bureaucratic Celestial Ministry. The seeds of the Empire's current troubles were planted long ago, brought to bloom by Shiro Togachi's murderous acts 200 years earlier, but it took much longer for the trouble to bear real fruit. Now, almost 50 years since I first visited the Empire, a great deal has changed, and much of it has not been to the betterment of the Kurzik and Luxon nations, the so-called vassal states that make up more than half the Empire's geographic area. The impact of the Jade Wind, the disastrous event that transformed so much of the Canton continent to stone and crystal nearly 2 centuries earlier, appears to be growing more dire each year, a process which seems to have accelerated since my first visit. The Kurziks and Luxons, always hostile to one another, have grown even more combative as valuable resources have become scarce. I kind of want to roleplay in Stellaris and be some spacefaring empire with 2 vassals, the Kurziks and Luxons now, that have animosity toward one another. The Canton Emperor Kisu, the nominal ruler of the entire continent, as well as massive Xingjie Island, has been unable to rein in the nationalist tendencies of either faction. Kisu has his hands full with the political and economic necessities of running a kingdom, one which had to move its agricultural centre over a short period of time, whilst simultaneously coping with the perils of overpopulation in the capital. The Kurziks of Echovald Forest and the Luxons of the now literally named Jade Sea have regained a great deal of their former independence. In fact, whatever their ruler in Canton may say. I read that totally wrong, but you get what I mean. Unfortunately for all, the 2 nations have chosen to turn this independence towards increasingly heated conflicts. Unable to farm for themselves in forests turned to stone or to fish in seas that have become jade, they instead compete for the jade itself and the rare mineral found within it. This jade then provides for the needs of their people, in theory. In practice, it appears that the corruption endemic to the bureaucracy has spread, resulting in more destructive mining practices and more border skirmishes than ever. Perhaps most troubling of all are the scattered reports of new, smaller factions springing up in unexpected places. A piratical? Why can't I say piratical? It's piratical, right? I want to say like piratical. It's weird. A piratical cult known as the Crimson Skull plagues the wilder areas of Xingjie, the precious jewel of the Dragon Crown. As I gathered data and lore from my renewed contacts in the academic class of Canton, I learned of many dark and forbidding omens appearing with greater consistency over the last few decades. Unfortunately for the Empire of the Dragon, these omens could not come at a worse time. If there is any good fortune in the situation, it is that the Aang Tengu remain on friendly terms with the Canton government. These noble creatures have long honoured the peace between the elders of their capital village and the Emperor. Many suspected that the Aang of Eri would turn violent as the Empire's troubles grew, but a relatively small population, coupled with the fact that their home was more or less untouched by the Jade Wind, has meant that continued peace with the humans, albeit with a new veneer of caution bordering on distrust. The Aang Tengu, unlike their Sensali cousins, are aware that not all humans... I lost my place looking to the other screen. Are aware that not all humans are their enemies, and have made the wise choice in this scholar's opinion. The tome you hold in your hands has been revised and updated based on this most recent visit, and could not have been possible without the assistance of the venerable Master Togo of Xingjie Monastery, my colleague in academia and one of my most respected figures in Canton society. It is my hope that this special 50th anniversary edition of An Empire Divided will stir renewed interest and, yes, concern for Tyria's southern neighbours. A stable and peaceful Canton is in the interest not just of Emperor Kisu, but of all human kingdoms, wherever they may be. Lord Master Ermin Red, Ascon C. That is just the forward, people. It is awesome. It's the coolest goddamn thing. And it's in the forward there, it's touched on all the really important stuff that you may be flaring your synapses now. You'll be thinking about how this leads to this, to this, to this, this. You know, they hint at the Jade Brotherhood and the Ampha. They hint at these various little aspects. One thing I do kind of... Let's not do ancient history and stuff. I mean, there's amazing background on the new professions and how ritualists and assassins are sort of ingrained in the culture. One of the things I really want to read... So this is very recent history. We're in the Canton calendar, so it's 1058. Right, the year before this campaign starts, I think it's really important to read because it's about the Tengu Wars. Well, oh, the formatting is kind of strange here. Hold on. So this is 1072. Let's go 1071. That's the end of the Guild Wars. Let's go 10... Here we go. 1568. A great and visionary man that I called friend, the Emperor Canton, finally died of old age at the dawn of a new era. His son Kisu proved an able and involved leader who continued his father's diplomatic efforts to establish trade agreements between Canton and the kingdoms of mutations. What the hell? Canton and the kingdoms of Tyria. He was aided by the renowned head of Xingzhe Monastery, the noble Master Togo, who often served as Kisu's personal ambassador during this period. So at the start of the campaign, we don't really know how closely related these guys are, but that they have interacted a lot. And of course, as the story goes along, you'll realize that they have a very close connection. It would fall to Kisu to draw up new treaties with the Kurziks and Luxons, forcing them to cease their open warfare and resume the border skirmishes which had been their lot for hundreds of years. Not a perfect solution, but the best, in my own opinion, that could be hoped for at the time. This was also the year that the Junlai Guild of Canton extended its services to northern kingdoms, where they are a common sight to this day. Alright, so just before pre-searing, really, or maybe this might even be during pre-searing or the interim between. Following the end of the Tyrian Guild Wars, relations between the Kingdom of Ascalon and the Empire of the Dragon were at last formalized. As one intimately involved in this agreement, I can write that while it was indeed welcome, it merely established on parchment the trade status which had in truth been strong for decades. Still, one of my most treasured memories is the signing of the Second Treaty of Lion's Arch. A year later, and so we reach the present day. At the time of this writing, the Kingdom of Ascalon is recovering from the conflict with the Char and is establishing new treaties with the Crichtons and Alonians. To the south, and I write this from personal experience, as this very moment I'm in the great library of Xingzhe Monastery, things are not so rosy. Despite renewed trade between the continents, the capital of Canton is more overcrowded than ever. Violent, well-organized street gangs hold sway over the older, poorer sections of Kaineng City. A wild population of bizarre insectoid creatures have seen a population boom, both on the main continent and on Xingzhe Island. The piratical Crimson Skull cultists continue to plague the shipping lanes and demand tribute from remote farmlands, and the Cold War between Kurzik and Luxons appears to be heating up once more. And there is something else. Something darker. My colleague, Master Togo, is troubled by reports of a strange plague affecting the creatures of the Xingzhe countryside. A plague that causes freakish mutations and transforms most anything it touches into hideous, savage monsters. Should this so-called affliction spread to humans, the result could be catastrophic. Not just for Canton, but for the entire world. Soon I must depart from my home in Ascalon. But it is with a hopeful spirit that Master Togo has told me he expects help to arrive soon in the form of a young hero who was instrumental in dealing with the Flameseeker prophecies. I wish Menlo and Togo the best of luck, but this new challenge is not one for the old. Perhaps someday I'll return to Canton, but for now I must bid farewell to the Empire of the Dragon. May the gods see these noble people come through dark times to come, and may the heroes of Canton meet these challenges with courage and honor. That's not the Tengu Wars. I don't know where it establishes Tengu Wars stuff, but and in truth, this little bit here obviously overlaps with the forward quite a lot. But this is almost at the end of chapter 1. This story you're hearing here is almost like a little bit after the opening stages and acts of the campaign. Alright, we're done with the Empire of the World, but an Empire Divided. Again, check it out if you guys want. It is a beautiful, beautiful work of art that I wish the devs did every release they ever did. Nightfall should have had an equivalent tome. Eye of the North should have had 4 fucking tomes for each of the new races. And Guild Wars 2 and Beyond certainly should have as well, in my opinion. But there you have it. Yeah, all you need to know about that is Tengu were fighting, they were at war, and Master Togo of the monastery was instrumental in forging a peace between them. And right as Canton started, if you played the betas, you got to enjoy a one-time only ever festival that was in those betas that was called the Day of the Tengu, which was a celebration of the anniversary of the ceasefire. And that's kind of where the game starts after that. If you watch my lore recap, you'll notice that that's how I start my script, because that festival most people don't remember about. Yeah, we'll do the bonus motion pack if people are still watching when we get there. We'll do it. That's it, guys. There's no more preamble. I hope you all got your new Guild Wars 1 accounts ready. I hope you're all set. This is literally a totally fresh new account. What you are going to watch on this stream is exactly what you could have done if you were just playing the game while watching the streams. So if you've ever thought, oh, should I get into Guild Wars 1? I don't know. Right now, opportunity's knocking. Open the door. So yeah, okay. Oh, did I get some subs? All right, hold on. Let's just quickly look at that, shall we? Sorry. God Gryken gave me Prime earlier. Thank you very much, dude. Lily Starflamer. Yeah, we just made a baby. Tier 3. Oh my god. The tier 3 sub. That's crazy. Thank you. Thank you, Gaia Demon. Anybody who remembers, Prime is free to do. And if you do that for me, that's awesome. It helps me buy groceries and things. So thank you. HAV, thanks very much earlier. Dargo earlier. Oh, Dog gave a sub to Engzak. Nobody ever gifts subs in my community. That's mental. Someone just Dog gave someone a sub. I think, is that the first time I've ever seen that? That's mental, dude. I go to all these other streamers and they're all really friendly and they're like, oh, here. You know, like, if I appear in Peachy's chat or Jeb's chat or anyone's chat, really, their subs are like, oh, yeah, they, like, gift me subs and stuff. We're all, like, proper grumpy, tight, stingy bastards here, and I'm fine with that, because it's just a reflection of me. But we never really do that, so thank you very much, Doug. We'll have to beat that niceness out of you. What else did we get? Moro Crow. Dosty, it's good to see you. Oh, that was yesterday. That's it. That's all we got today. Oh, people are doing it now, though, now that I mentioned it. Oh, shit. Damn. Okay, so Lenny Ring, thank you. Raven Charm, Ondoro, Stealth Bunny, Fabio Leone, Techno the Fallen, Spartan Meow Meow. Maestron, it's good to see you. T2 at 21 months. You're looking forward to this playthrough? I'm glad. I'm glad you guys are looking forward to it. I mean, you guys voted on it, so hopefully people want it to some extent. That's very cool. Thank you, guys. Honestly, that's really, really sweet. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a character. We're going to create an RPG character. I could make a PvP only one, but this wouldn't even be that good right now because it doesn't have that much stuff unlocked. So we're going to make an RPG character. I love these icons, by the way. There's something about the UI that I quite like the aesthetic they went with in the original game. You don't see much of this in Guild Wars 2. So, Prophecies we have yet to do on a stream. About a year and a half ago, we did Nightfall on streams. Maybe a little bit longer than that now. We're going to do Factions this time, which has got a lot of beautiful stuff to it, to be honest. At the end, there is Guild Wars Beyond. So, Prophecies released first, then Factions, then Nightfall. But the last major content updates for the game were not in Prophecies or in Nightfall. They were in Factions. Winds of Change, this continent, hosts the most, like, end of timeline stuff in the entire original game, if you get what I mean. The last big updates, they were all Factions oriented. It was Winds of Change. And again, we'll do that if people are still keen at that point. Alright, so I did say that the stream would get to decide stuff. It's the big one. What class are we going to be? So, when we played Nightfall, I think you guys voted on a Dervish, wasn't it? Weren't we playing a Dervish in Nightfall? Were we playing a Paragon in Nightfall? I can't remember anymore. I think it was a Paragon, wasn't it? Didn't we play a Paragon? Don't just scream it in chat. Don't listen, guys. It's going to be a straw poll, so, and I will bow to this. Whatever it is, whoever votes on the most, it will be that. So, it's going to be a straw poll. So don't just type in chat Ritualist. Explain to people why you want it to be a Ritualist and convince them to vote your way. That's what you're going to have to do. So I'll give you a very brief explanation of each so that this stream isn't just on character creation. The mightiest of the mighty, the bravest of the brave, the warrior is the master of melee combat and heavy armor. Now remember, you get multiple professions in this game, so we can multi-class. So the first 6 are core. They were in all the professions. And then the last 2 were Factions exclusive. So these ones feel a little bit more special, I guess. Warrior would be pretty fun, pretty visual for the stream. We'd be moving around. We'd have a lot of different weapon swapping we can do. Lots of opportunity for you guys to vote on various aspects. We could, you know, you can vote on Axe Mastery build one stream, and then we might be doing a Hammer Mastery one next stream. You know, there's a lot of versatility there. Warrior can even have some interesting ranged applications. When we get to the Jade Sea and stuff, I mean, I won't have much faction, so my Save Yourself skill won't be that powerful, but it's a reasonable class. You guys generally get the gist. If you're a Warrior fan in Guild Wars 2, you might want to see what it was like in the original. Next, you've got Ranger, an agile and wily survivor. The Ranger specializes in archery, beast mastery, and attunement to nature. So you can see what the Guild Wars 1 Ranger was like. This was the original medium armor class, the one and only. Just as the warrior was the one and only heavy originally. What can I say about ranger? Well, you get pets, obviously. In my let's play, I got a ranger secondary, and I got one of those Japanese cranes, which we called Suru, which I think is the Japanese word for it. One of the first ever experiences I've ever had as like a person on the internet asking the community to do stuff was naming that thing Suru. So we'd get a pet. You could do some interesting, if we went /necro, we could do some life siphon builds. I don't know, we can mess around. A lot will be possible. But yeah, ranger, bows, lots of types of bows in Guild Wars 1, by the way. Like, there's types of physical damage, like flat slashing and blunt and piercing, and I'm forgetting one. But then there's different types of bows as well. Flat bows have different range and arc and travel times to long bows to short bows, and then there's another recurve bows, I think. So, you know, there's that stuff as well. Obviously, with secondaries, all of this can be viable. Maybe I should only talk about the primary thing. So primary, if you go warrior, you get strength, which increases your armor piercing and gives you strength skills. Rangers get expertise, which diminishes energy cost for everything and gives them expertise skills. Monk, you get divine favor, which means basically everything you do heals. The servants of divine spirits, the monks use prayer to protect, preserve, and restore the well-being of companions. We'll be seeing a lot of monks as we play. Monk is probably the lowest of my list, which might make you vote for it, but only because most of our compositions for our parties are going to have monks in them. And also, you guys, last time we did this, you guys kept voting on smite monks and weird hybrid fucking troll bollocks. So I don't know, maybe you want to go monk again, but I'm telling you, in terms of like, the caster classes are pretty boring to watch as well, by the way. These four in the middle, they're all pretty boring to watch generally because they're all very static and the animations aren't that divergent and stuff. But yeah, this is dedicated support healer, but you can smite to do a bit of damage for yourself. You got the Necromancer, one who learned, if you're a Guardian main in Guild Wars 2, in fact, there's monk skills in Warrior, there's monk skills all over the place, really. But Guardians, I guess, are the most direct successors to the monk, which doesn't exist in the sequel. Necromancer, one who has learned to draw the power of blood sacrifice and communion with death. The Necromancer uses black magic to cast curses and raise undead, so you can be a minion master, a proper good minion master. Factions was the campaign with the flesh golem when that first appeared, and an elite minion master skill, so that's a cool moment in factions for necros. You just create these massive meat shields. There was a new 2018 update with the minion UI, which would be kind of fun to see, I guess. I'd kind of like playing an MM, casting Death Nova, and we wouldn't get Jagged Bones and stuff because we're not going to be in Nightfall, but genuinely, and Shambling Horrors, and a lot of the best minion monster stuff was Nightfall oriented, but still, I don't know, I like MMs, and playing one might be interesting. Mesmer, a master of illusion, misdirection, and control. The Mesmer subverts the damage dealing by the way, corpse exploitation and blood sacrifice and stuff. A lot of mechanics revolving around Necro that are really fun, significant good RPG tropes just were eliminated in the name of quality of life and stuff in Guild Wars 2. So you get a much more dumbed down shit experience in the sequel. This is like a very well implemented RPG MM and overpowered as a result. But yeah. Mesmer, master of illusion, misdirection, control. The Mesmer subverts the damage dealing capabilities of others, manipulating their perceptions to achieve personal goals. Mesmer was my main when I used to play this, so I've kind of had my feel playing Mesmer, but you know, it's getting into people's mind. Also, absurdly overpowered. They buffed the hell out of Mesmer in the later years because so much of his stuff is armor ignoring. I'm not sure when it comes to factions which of the skills are there. Is Visions of Regret Nightfall? I think it is. Is Panic Core? Or Nightfall or Factions? I mean, a lot of the factions Mesmer skills felt very PvP oriented, like Psychic Distraction and Psychic Instability and stuff. So I don't know. Mesmer's pretty low on my list as well, but it's there. It's not so much about butterflies and goo goo gaga bollocks in the original game. Next, we've got Elementalist. The master of arcane lore and magical aptitude. The Elementalist calls upon the power of earth, fire, air, and water to obliterate enemies. Now, Ellie in Guild Wars 1 doesn't play anything like the sequel. So just because a lot of you think of me as an Ellie main for the sequel, I'm not really. But it plays very different in the first game anyway, even if you have that perception of me. I am quite excited about playing Ellie. And the reason I'm excited about playing Ellie is because the last big balance patch that went into this game was on Ellie. Now, as far as hard mode is concerned, where armor levels get bumped up hard, it's still not that amazing. But for normal mode and just playing through, Ellie is in like turbocharged state lately. And I say lately, I mean the game's resting state. It's been kind of turbocharged for that normal mode stuff, but I've never played or experienced that turbocharge because I left and started playing Guild Wars 2 around when that update came out, was around when I finished with Guild Wars 1. So, I don't know. And there was a new class of skill I think they got or something. Mesmer is stronger for like end game, but that's not what this streams are. So I don't know. Ellie's reasonably high on my list. Okay, and those are the 6 core ones. So let me just type those into straw poll, and then we will get onto the 2 factions special ones. And remember, you can mix and match, so we could be like Mesmer main, Ellie secondary, yeah? I don't want to change my secondary too much, even though I know mechanically that gets quite easy. For the streams, for the sense of making this an important decision and a fun RPG build-making thing, I think we'll pick like 1 secondary and stick with it, okay? So I'm gonna say that out loud now. We're having 1 secondary, and we're sticking with it. So be very cautious about it. Don't expect to just have a perfect freedom and get everything and everything. So, yeah, right, Mesmer, Ellie. Now, those are the 6 core classes. The 2 special ones. So, these were freshly, newly added with factions, with Canton. They got a lot of lore. Like, the main antagonist of this game, I'll try and not be too spoilery, but the main antagonist is an assassin. But the connotation you may have, the things that spring to your mind when you think the word assassin, that's not true for Cantons. Assassins are like legitimate businesses, and not just well-known and accomplished citizens of Canton. They are proud ones. They are looked up to. They are the elites of society, okay? So to be an assassin is to have renown and to be, you know, looked up to, idolized. And, you know, the more proficient you are as an assassin, the more, which is kind of this weird thing, because like an assassin would have to be sneaky and unknown and stuff, and is that really practical? But it's that weird sort of juxtaposition of 2 ideas that's so beautiful and alien and strange, and one of the things that's so wonderful about the world building in Canton, in my opinion. And much like assassins, ritualists also are very heavily ingrained in the lore, and the way that Cantons utilize magic without necessarily needing it from the human gods, the way that they revere and honor their dead. The mechanism for death and travel to the underworld and stuff is one of the core themes of this game. During this campaign, we will die and come back to life, like full on, like what happened in Path of Fire. So, and again, that's not really a big spoiler because it's not that much of a pivot, to be honest, in the plot. But you know, these things are heavily ingrained. So, assassin. This is a frontliner, a squishy frontliner, which was the first time that the game had experimented with that. A swift, silent master of shadows, daggers, and death. The assassin can chain together increasingly deadly strikes that target a foe's critical areas, killing quickly and efficiently. Now, that description was not particularly representative of the actual game for a long time. However, I will openly admit, a Death Blossom spamming assassin, who also happens to spam save yourselves and stuff at endgame, is probably the most ridiculous DPS powerhouse in the game. Like, it's obscene. So they really, really, really are very, very potent. They also have a lot of great mechanics. And the most teleportation you'll get in Guild Wars 1 is through an assassin. You shadow step all over the place. Aura of Displacement is a fantastic, beautiful skill. There's lots of fun, weird mechanics going on here. And there's like combos and chains and things. So it's kind of like martial artists sort of rolled in at the same time, which in the end isn't that fun. You know how in Guild Wars 2 your axe auto attack on a warrior chains from one to another to a third? Imagine if you had to spend 3 slots on a skill bar to be able to do that. That's basically what Assassin is. It's just a really punishing version of chain skills, which you get for free in Guild Wars 2. And you only have 8 slots total instead of like 15 in Guild Wars, so in the sequel. But anyway, so that's Assassin. Though I mained Mesmer as my main, when factions came out, Assassin was my main for many years. The thing I played most back in the day was Mesmer, but second to an Assassin. So these I have masses of experience in, and thus I'm not particularly high on their list. And then lastly, Ritualist. A living conduit to the spirit world. The Ritualist spawns powerful spirit allies that inflict harm on foes and can channel restorative magic that heals and protects. So this is kind of like an alternate version of Necro a little. It's like a Necro, but instead of a dark theme and a curse and black magic theme, it's like where Necro meets Monk kind of thing. Yeah, you're another form of minion monster. You summon spirits which are stationary, but there are other skills you can use to move them around. This is kind of one of the best all-rounder classes in the game in terms of getting access to solo content. For while I just described Assassin as a DPS powerhouse, that's in specific like endgame setups and scenarios and stuff. In truth, I reckon for generic PvE, this might be, maybe Ellie beats it now with the big patch, but like a Signet of Spirits, Ritualist that just summons Bloodlust and stuff, and Pain and Wanderlust and just goes mental, is kind of a thing to behold. We would also get to use a bit of that UI. Those of you who watched me solo Prophecies will know how strong Ritualist is, because you saw me having to resort to swapping to this right at the end, Ritualist secondary. But yeah, this would be, for a stream experience, I think a pretty good one. But yeah, there you go. Those are the classes. So, as a very quick recap, you've got 6 core ones, which have tons of skills, are all very viable and interesting. For Warrior, the main perk, I think, as a stream is you get lots of versatility and movement, and visually we're moving around a lot. Range, you get Pet, which also is pretty interesting, adds another dynamic to the build craft. Monk is probably on the bottom of my list, honestly. We'll be interacting with them a lot anyway, and it's not that fun seeing them. Necro's pretty interesting, pretty fun. I'd like to play a Minion Mancer for the old times. Mesmer would be pretty OP, but only if it gets the right skills, and I don't know whether it would in this campaign. Elementalist had a big update in the later years that would essentially feel like new content to me, so I'd kind of want to play that. Assassin I used to play a lot of, has got a high top end, but I'm fairly uninterested in this. And lastly, Ritualist I think would be fairly interesting. These two might get special focus because they're Canton specific. There you go. All right. I said I was going to do a short description. I kind of like streaming, though, because I could never get away with that in a video. Literally, this stream's an hour long. Can you imagine how much people would shit themselves if I did a Let's Play video that was an hour before we even started? All right, here you go. So here's the poll. Get in there, people. And don't forget, secondaries are a thing. So if you guys don't really use Twitch much, you click the link in the chat right there, or if you have better Twitch TV, the Chrome extension, you can do it without even leaving the web page. So click that link and you're allowed to vote. You get 1 vote, so make it count. Warrior, Ranger, Monk, Necromancer, Mesmer, Elementalist, Assassin, or Ritualist. And remember, if we pick Necro, we can be Ellie secondary. If we pick Ellie, we can be Necro secondary. It's just we won't be as proficient in their priority stuff, you know. We won't hit the true top end of energy management and explosions if we're an Ellie secondary. We won't hit the true Minion Mancy proficiency if we're a Necro secondary. We won't hit the true summoning, spawning power proficiency if we're Ritualist secondary. But we will get them. You know, that's what's beautiful about Guild Wars 1. It's kind of a... it's kind of a beautiful like trap almost, I think, that people still wax poetically nostalgic about, because it just sounds so cool as a concept for a game, and people still lament, oh, I want secondary proficiency back, even as broken and silly as it ended up actually represented in that game's heyday. I can end it now. Rit 1. Did it really? Is everybody going Ritualist? Oh wow, they are. They're going Rit really heavy. Big boy Ritualists, eh? All right. Ritualist. Let me reread that. A living conduit to the spirit world, Ritualist spawns powerful spirit allies that can inflict harm on foes and can channel restorative magic that heals and protects injured companions. So later we will have a vote for secondary when that unlocks. Since we picked that, why not? So I thought I'd get to it a lot quicker than I did in the end. Unique Canton professions. The heroes of Canton. I hope the volume's not too loud. There you go. The heroes of Canton choose from the 8 primary disciplines: the traditional warrior, elementalist, monk, ranger, mesmer, or necromancer, filtered through a Canton sensibility, can be found to the south. But yeah, by the way, no matter what class we pick, we'll be having Canton skills. It will be like the Canton flavored versions and different. Like an elementalist from Canton was mechanically different to an elementalist from Prophecies. The truth was all players went everywhere in the end, so you had it all. But that is a distinction. Anyway, because this is a new account and we don't have anything unlocked, we will get quite raw, pure versions of these professions as well, by the way, which I'm quite excited about. Anyway, through Canton's sensibility can be found to the south, along with two more that are unique to Canton. The assassin and the ritualist disciplines both have deep roots in Canton's ancient past. So I'm going to skip the assassin bit. The ritualist, spiritual tradition. More than 1,000 years ago, it is said the gods of Tyria left this world behind, but not before granting the power of magic to the humans who lived there. Although Canton was settled by humans hundreds of years before the northern continent, Canton humans did not possess magical power as we currently understand it. Indeed, true magic seems to have appeared in Canton at the same time it emerged in Tyria. Before this time, however, the ritualist tradition was already long established. According to the histories, these early ritualists from the pre-magic era relied on a similar power granted by the dead, by ancestors of the great and powerful who maintained a connection to their descendants. The power of spirit allowed mortal humans to practice what might be seen as a form of magic. These human ritualists adapted to true magic when the gods introduced it, but still rely on the spirits of the dead to put these skills into practice. Unfortunately, for scholars such as myself, the skills of the true ritualist are no longer to be seen, but those that evolved from the merging of magic and spirits certainly are widespread. Master Togo of Xingjie Monastery, to name just one example, is a ritualist of uncanny ability. So there you go. We're like super ancient old magic. How that, don't ask me how that ties into the Elder Dragons, please, for the love of God, alright? Okay? Don't make me explode my brain trying to trip over and find some justification for that. Alright, male or female? Should I do some rapid straw poll? Just boom, 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 boom. We'll just roll through it quickly instead of fastest finger first. Let's try it out. So here we go, gender, guys. We're going to be a boy or a girl? Here's your next poll. Click it, vote. You get 60 seconds, and then we're moving on. 60 seconds. I'm watching the results fly in now. Oh, it's 50-50. Oh, more people are saying girl. All right, everyone wants a human female. Great. You guys like those Asian chicks, huh? Okay. Oh, God. This voting on this isn't going to be quite so easy. I'm not going to rapid straw poll for this. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep clicking through until I'm doing this randomly, and I'm going to stop when I see someone types the code in chat, okay? The first person I see to type the code, 841, determines the hair. I will stop as soon as I see 841. Go, 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 guys. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Boom. All right, the Trider got it. He's picked that hair. All right, we're doing it again. New code is 71. Go, new code. Let's do it. This is so janky. 71. There we go. All right, lovely. Ruined. Okay, face. I'm going to release the key for the face with the next code, which is 3,331. Go. Waiting for it. All right, there you go. Dargo got it. Is that one? Why am I not streaming with zero latency? Because you don't seem to understand. I'm not a good Twitch streamer. All right. And finally, the skin color. Is it wrong of me to feel like this is the biggest, like, the most important one? That's probably something really messed up by that. But, I mean, visually, it does impact the most of our characters. So I think it's fair. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Are those bobes for real? No, they do look pretty padded, don't they? Let's do it. Oh, sorry. No, the code is 1,120. Let's do it. Oh, did I accidentally change the fate? All right, somebody got it. There we go. Oh, we got the first box, apparently. It's like we didn't even do anything. I changed the face. We'll re-roll the face then. The code's 60. Go. We'll re-roll in the face. The code is 60. All right, there you go. There's the new face. She looks so, like, basic. It's unbelievable. I don't know how you've accomplished that, chat, but she looks like 100%. There's just nothing interesting about her. Like, nothing. Is it the same? Is it really the same one we got? I mean, at least she looks Canton. I don't know. They all should look quite Canton. But yeah. All right, there you go. There should be like a height slider as well, yeah. This is a weird bit of UI, this like ruler here on the right. Can you guys see that? You should be able to. Yeah, big or small? Sorry, I'm straw polling this one. So you got a straw poll with 4 options. It's, do you want to be tall? Do you want to be a little bit tall? Do you want to be a little bit small? Or do you want to be small? Which one do we want to do? Thank you for the compliment on my streaming abilities there, by the way. But what I mean is I don't really look at what the website offers. All right, what we got? Tall, small. Everybody. Oh, it's a race between tall and small. Oh, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Democracy does not work. Look at all those marginals that threw the little things. They haven't been extreme enough, and now the 2 main demos are duking it out. Actually, small and a little small are winning. So overall. All right, we're gonna be a little small then. We're gonna be the middle ground between a little small and very small because that's the majority. So we're gonna be about there. There you go. All right, it's okay. I'm not doing dyes, guys. There's no point. We can change that as our gear changes. Okay. This is kind of the tricky one. Constructing WP's perfect woman. Now, chat, I'm going to let you name this character, okay? But I will not accept a name that would get me banned or is too dickish, all right? So, we're going to do it with the code again, okay? So, the first person to give me a recommendation for a name while also posting the code at the same time will get this. If the name is already taken, because this is a decade-old MMO, I will move to the next person on the list. And then the next, and then the next, and then the next. Now, I warn you, if you want super low latency to get this right, you probably want to refresh the stream right now and make sure the quality is, like, super low. And then crank it up again later. Because otherwise, someone else will get it first. All right? I don't know whether I should disqualify Dosty, who potentially is in chat and will snipe this because he lives at Twitch. Alright. People, I haven't said a code yet. You're getting duped there with the... I never said that. Look at this. Wait. Let me just stop. Everybody stop. Everybody who's typing 775 right now, the only reason you're typing 775 is because you've seen other people do it in chat. And it's fastest finger first. Now listen, I don't mean to make you all feel like utter morons. But there's absolutely no point in doing that. Because obviously the people before you would have won that. I mean, on what planet would you ever do that? Jesus Christ, guys. Alright, here we go. Fastest finger first. I can understand maybe the first 2, but like 20 people did it. Here we go. The code is... $48. Yeah, I snuck a 48 in there. I know you guys always think I do 48, and then I don't. But there's a 48. Boom. Oh my god. Alright. Here it is. Well done, everybody refreshing it. Jules won! With WP's girlfriend. Will it accept an apostrophe? It won't accept an apostrophe. That looks a bit poo, doesn't it? But the next... Oh, no. Jules didn't win it. Zeth won it with McPoopbutt. Oh, what? McPoopbutt? These are all horrible. McPoopbutt, WP's girlfriend, beach fart, basic Asian chick. I kind of like that one. Bacon's All Mine got the first one that's alright. Ritty McRipface. These are all horrible names, guys. I guess McPoopbutt... Oh, really? McPoopbutt wouldn't get me banned, would it? Oh, really? Please be taken. No, it's not taken. All right, we're in. Oh, I'm supposed to be reading it out loud. For decades, young Cantons have come to Xingji Monastery. To learn from the greatest living hero. I forgot it's not voice acted at the start. The Ritualist known as Master Togo. There he is. He's the same class as us. Alright, I don't know how much, like, Asian voice I want to do in this. Wait, what happened to my UI? No, all my settings broke again. Really? Oh, I customized all my UI and everything. We'll have to change that off stream. Greetings, students. Welcome to Xingji Monastery, Canton's premier trading academy for young heroes. You have been invited here because you show great promise. You may talk to instructor Ninj to learn the basics, or you may come with me, and we will enter the monastery now. Alright, let's learn the basics. Ah, this is default UI you guys are looking at, and it's hideous. Oh, frustrating. All my controls and stuff are going to be broken. They are. I set up every single little control bind I could think of. All of them. Oh, that's frustrating. Damn. Alright, well, I guess we'll just struggle our way through it. So, NG, right? His name is Instructor NG. I think there's a way to pronounce that. What is it? Like, Nin or something? I can't remember. Anyway, you may talk to... come this way if you wish to learn the basics. Simply left-click me and we can speak. So, we'll let the game talk us through it. Welcome to Xingji Monastery. I'm Instructor NG. I will be teaching you a few basic procedures. First, let us discuss moving the camera and looking around. Kasai and Mai... Oh God, when the stuff goes away, I have to look all the way down. Oh no, I just miss it. It doesn't print it to me at all. No, Kasai and Mai pay close attention while McPoopbutt does as I say. Alright, to look around, simply hold down the right mouse button while moving the mouse. Try looking behind you in the direction I'm facing. McPoopbutt, whenever you're ready to continue training, left click me and we will continue. Alright, so yeah, I can look around with the mouse. It's incredible, I know. Do you see that chest over there? I'd like you to walk over and retrieve something from it. It's over there, that's the chest. Let me just check here then. Does it default advanced? It has at least put all of this stuff on. We are maxed out. We are 2018 maxed out right now. To move around, use W, A, S, and D keys, or left-click the mouse button on the spot to which you wish to travel. Once you're comfortable moving around, go over to the chest and open it by left-clicking it. So, yeah, back in the day, I used to always use W, A, S, and D. That was my main game, and I felt like it was more immersive or whatever. But these days, I always click to move. Playing games like Divinity has just ingrained it in me. I'm 100% click to mover now. I don't know how we'll feel as the stream goes along. Click to move's kind of nice because it frees up so many binds on your left hand as well. You can so easily target, instantly snap a target to any ally, any hero, all kinds of different things. So, alright. As you can see, I left a weapon in the chest for you. Please pick up the weapon by left-clicking it. When you pick up an item, it will automatically go into your backpack. So we get a starter Ritualist wand, because we're a Ritualist. Now that the weapon's in your inventory, you can equip it. To open your inventory, click the menu button in the lower left corner of the screen and select inventory from the menu. So what they're doing, you guys can't see it because it's on my face cam, but if I move the interface, you will be able to see it. So up here, they're telling us this menu button. We click this, you get a drop-down box, and you get all these lovely icons, which most Guild Wars 1 players never cared about because we just keep out and stuff. But this one here says inventory. So you click inventory, and we've got our inventory, McPoopbutt's inventory. And you can see the various slots for our gear. We've already got Pupil's head wrap, Pupil's raiment, Pupil's bangles, Pupil's leggings, and Pupil's shoes. Most of it gives us very basic armor, but you'll notice every now and then I gain energy from it as well. That's because I'm a caster. So this gives me extra energy +5, and this gives me energy recovery. So you see my energy bar here is blue, and it's got these upward arrows. That represents how fast I get my energy back. If I was a warrior, I wouldn't get it very fast because my armor wouldn't offer it for me. And I'd be more about spending adrenaline on skills instead of magic on skills, okay? But yeah, so here's the wand. in our backpack, which holds 20 items. You notice we've got many other grayed out slots, which we have to unlock as time goes by. There's a bin here as well. I could drag the staff into there and delete it. The one, sorry. But I'm going to equip this. You'll see we do dark damage with it. So that's our opening damage type, which I think is armor ignoring. Time for your next lesson. The green exclamation point over my head means that I have a quest for you. Come and talk to me, and I will tell you more about quests. Before people get triggered by that. I don't know they will. Let's move that along. So left click me to speak. So we go running over. While speaking to someone who has a quest. I love that they got rid of this bit of UI, by the way. This looks so tacky and crap. The old exclamation marks. When speaking to someone who has a quest for you, simply left-click a quest button to learn more about it. Go ahead and left-click the Manted Hatchlings button now. So this is his intro dialogue, and these are the topics we can speak to him about. So Manted, do you remember the Empire Divided? Talked about a new pestilence coming to the nation? Well, for this quest, I need your aid in clearing the training grounds here of some annoying Manted Hatchlings that have infested the place. But before you can help me, you must formally accept the quest. So please accept the quest now. So it displays our reward, which is 2,000 experience and a res signet. Now, 2,000 experience, you might be like, wow, that's a lot to start off with. Well, that's immediately a sign of something the devs were doing with this campaign, which is they tried to get you to level 20 really quick. So Prophecies has a beautiful leveling experience and a really good game within a game with pre and stuff, and it feels really good. But as soon as Factions came out and beyond, they started messing it up because they started devaluing tutorials, trying to condense it all in, making the entire game end game. Some philosophy that I think led them to a lot of cul-de-sacs, even to this day in Guild Wars 2. But yeah, so we're going to get a ton for that. Anyway, I'm happy to help. He does a little emote. We get the nostalgic sound effect, Manted Hatchlings. Now that you have accepted the quest, it appears in your quest log. To view your quest log, click the menu button in the lower corner. You can also do it by pressing L. So again, here we scroll up to log, and you get this icon of a journal. And you will see that we have Monastery Overlook mission objectives, and we have Manted Hatchlings as a quest. So what we're currently in technically is a mission. So our mission is to do these quests. So that's a bit complicated and dumb, a bit iffy. But here you can see we're in the middle of a quest, Xingji Island, and we need to meet the instructor at the gate now. And we get a recap of what he was talking about. The quest log contains information about quests you've accepted but not yet completed. The information includes specific steps for completing a quest as well as a summary of the quest objective. The devs never added a completed quests aspect to the log, which a lot of other games have and is kind of a failing of Guild Wars 1. Do you see the green starburst on your mini-map? That shows you the location of the next step on your currently selected quest. And Kasai says, "Please excuse my interruptions, instructor, but what happens if the goal is not within the scope of the mini-map?" Is Kasai a lady? I think Kasai's a girl, sorry. A good question, Kasai. If the next step is far away, a green arrow in the minimap will point you to the general direction of the goal. Any other question? Yeah, she's a man. Listen, guys. Look, she's been taking testosterone. Leave her alone. Oh, yes, sir. Are Manted Hatchlings very large? What do they look like? How fearsome are they? What do they... Oh, I don't miss these moments on the old series, having to wait for awkward dialogue to come back, and then it flies through really quickly. Look how quick that passed. I think these questions will be best answered by seeing one in the flesh, Kasai. Meet me at the gate when you are ready, and we will go and find some. Through these gates are a number of vicious, bloodthirsty, flesh-eating Manted Hatchlings. I will let you face the first one on your own, so I can observe your combat technique. Suddenly, I'm not feeling very well. You guys want me to hide the helmet? You guys have got no class. I'm not hiding my helmet when I'm a ritualist. So here these guys are talking. You'll have your chance, Lucas, though I hope you do aspire to great things. So these are the advanced students, which we could have joined, just by the way. Yes, Lucas, fighting for those who cannot fight for themselves. And they're going to go up to the gate and just leave straight away. These will be characters later. This guy especially, pay attention to, Yijo Tan. Hello, my name is Yijo Tan. Today is my first day too. Are you not excited? They say the instructors here are the best in Canton. This guy is like gonna be our rival at the school, and he's just better than us in every way, basically. And Taya, she says, "Hello, my name is Taya. I'm studying to be a monk." And lastly, the headmaster, who doesn't even have any time of day for us. But Taya is of the Luxons, and Lucas is of the Kurziks. I am Lucas. I'm already quite legendary among the warriors of my people, the Kurziks. And they look kind of crazy and exotic and strange, but we'll learn more about those later. So yeah, we'll let them go do. Master Togo, if I may be so bold, is it true what they say about you and the Emperor? I prefer not to discuss this matter, Yijo. And in any case, we have arrived at our destination. And they're going to go in. So yeah, easy to miss law there. Of course, Master Togo. Forgive us, please. And they're going to leave now. Lucas is as pale as you are. I mean, Lucas is hella pale. Lucas is like, he was born in a cave and never left. We got a valley girl. Yeah, I did do a bit of a valley girl there, right? Alright, yeah, and ritualists are blind, by the way. They see through spirits and stuff. We are wagging our tits out, honestly. They are about to pop out. Look at that. That's unbelievable. The new 2018 graphics really allow me to get that detail out of them. I could watch this. It's like a lava lamp. I understand now why people play women. Alright, let's keep going. This is so annoying, the controls right now. So by doing this, we get access to an area of the game that is quite rarely traveled by players. It's only during one of the festivals this really opens up again. So it's nice to see this here in the tutorial area. Do you see that man-shaped hatchling up ahead? Simply left-click it to begin your attack. Kasai and Mai, stand fast, please. I want to see how McPoopbutt handles this situation. I wouldn't even know how to begin. I will leave it up to McPoopbutt. As you wish, Instructor NG. Okay, so Mai hasn't spoken much. So Mai is an assassin. Wielding two what are these? These are... They're not Sai, are they? They're Kai or something? Anyway, my name is Mai. I look forward to learning with you and from you. Salutation! Oh, dude, salutations. I like that word. That is classic old RPG word to me because of all my time playing the old Might and Magics. I am Kathai. I'm so nervous. Are you? No, you don't look it. Not like me. When I get nervous, I tend to babble on and on and on about nothing. Oh, I'm doing it now, Manod. Apologies. Don't worry, that's what I do when I stream, my love. Right. So let's click a hatchling and learn about auto-attacking. And what a beautiful animation that was. When defeated, creatures drop whatever they're carrying. Gold, weapons, and so on. If you are in a group... Any gold is divided evenly among your members, while items are randomly assigned to a single group member. Now, keep moving forward. This time, Kasai and Mai will help you. Remember, however mighty we may become, we must all rely on our allies for support. Let's fight with honor, our members. You see some other great social, genuine features I wish that Guild Wars 2 had done. There's an item reservation system, so when we play with one another, only some people qualify for some loot. Guild Wars 2 did away with all of that because they didn't want you to ever see an ally as an enemy and competing with them for loot. Which Guild Wars 1 didn't want either. There was no rolling for need and greed and stuff like that. But Guild Wars 1 automated things to a fine level. The devs continued trying to reinvent a wheel that wasn't needing it anymore, I think, in Guild Wars 2. And you might think, well, no, I like Guild Wars 2's tag system. But what you have to understand about Guild Wars 2's tag system is it is one of the biggest reasons the economy and the entire reward structure of that game is as convoluted and crazy as it is. Just because you get 50 people killing a single wolf in Queensdale, that's generated 50 times the loot. Guild Wars 1 and other MMOs would only generate one thing, for it's less unwieldy. Anyway, so yeah, let's pick up the pincer. And Guild Wars 1 had bypass mechanisms anyway. If you think about the way Domain of Anguish chests work, everyone gets to click it and open on and get all the stuff. It's just for general mob loot. I think this is the better way to do it. You'll also notice in this game, the items exist outside of the UI. Oh, you cannot drop items in the first 24 hours of account creation. Wow, that must be an anti-bot mechanic. That's crazy. Well, I can't show it to you because I can't drop it. But you can actually drop stuff on the floor. Every bit of loot you have, it's not just an icon. It's actually got a model and a texture. It's a thing that will be on the ground properly. Sometimes they sub it out for just a generic bag of loot looking icon, but it's cool. And something Guild Wars 2 doesn't do either. Again, to save on resources and time. That one was an okay move. I don't mind that so much. Anyway, they're crying at me over here. McPoopbutt, when you're ready, let's move on. Okay. Good work, students. I guess they cleared it out for us. Now, if you will step inside the gate to the next area, we will talk about ... death. You did very well against those hatchlings, but there will likely be times when things do not go in your favor. Kasai, Mai, McPoopbutt, follow me to the Resurrection Shrine, please. I hate this name. Okay. So this is a shrine to the gods, who are still vaguely interacting with the peoples of the world at this point in time, by the way. We must speak to him. Resurrection shrines become active as you near them. If you die, you will be resurrected at the nearest active shrine. You will know that a shrine is active by the glow emanating from it. So here the game has forcefully killed us. Interestingly, this is special mechanically. So he says, do not worry over much, students. Thanks to the resurrection shrine, you will be back soon enough. I'll let him finish speaking before I give you my weird trivia. With such a powerful tool at our disposal, we will have little to fear in combat. And thankfully, they will set this up in even the most hellish of areas. Actually, not true. These don't appear in elite areas, which is kind of the pretense of why they're dangerous and scary. Do not become overconfident. You may have noticed a box in the upper left-hand corner of your screen that reads minus 15%. This is called a death penalty. Each time you die, your maximum health and energy are reduced. The limit for this penalty is 60%, which can be quite harsh when you are attempting to battle a difficult foe. Is there no remedy for this death penalty? As you defeat foes in combat, you will reduce your death penalty. Also, visiting a town or other place of rest will fully eliminate your death penalty. Another sorely needed mechanic in any good MMO or RPG, in my opinion. Sorry, they're still talking. And if there are no resurrection shrines in the area, at times you may undertake dangerous missions that have no shrines at all. In such cases, death will require you to restart the mission from the beginning. It is possible to learn skills to resurrect fallen companions, but first we should concentrate on skills that will keep you alive. Skills produce a variety of effects, from healing your allies to damaging your foes to allowing you to run more quickly. Using skills effectively is often the key to victory. And look, we get our first skills, which are Ritualist skills, because we are a rip. Skill unlocked, Weapon of Warding. I'll tell you what these do in my own way. Skill unlocked, Pain. I've just given each of you 2 basic skills from your chosen professions. They should now be equipped in your skill bar at the bottom of your screen. To activate one of these skills, simply left-click it. We can also press the 1 through 8 keys to activate the corresponding skills. Is that right, Instructor? Look, she's better. Instructor NG is he's a skill clicker. We don't like skill clickers here. If you're a skill clicker in chat, I want you to announce it to everybody and then leave. Now that you are suitably prepared for combat, let us go and finish clearing out those manted hatchlings. Meet me at the gate when you're ready. Oh, I intend to. Alright, he just whizzed through a ton of things. That's not very well paced there at all. He might even start talking when he goes over to that gate again, so let's just wait and see. But, yeah, the game forcibly killed us there. That's kind of a strange thing. Guild Wars 1 never really does that. But because it did that, what it actually did is it didn't count as an official death for our character. So there's some actually good mechanics and things in this game to do with punishment. So here, if I type /deaths, you can see in my chat box, it says you have died 0 times and gained 25 experience since dying. So basically, it tracks every time you die, as Guild Wars 2 does as well. I've got tens of thousands of deaths on my main in that game. But in this game, the longer you stay alive without dying, the closer you can get to a title. But if you die, it's robbed from you. You lose it altogether. So it's a really cool aspect of the game. We can't see any title progress on anything just yet, except for exploring the world. So Canton exploration title track. We've explored 0.6% of the game so far. 0.6%. And this is the smallest continent. 0.6 of one continent, that is. But yeah, when we get enough experience without dying, eventually we will see we're working towards Survivor. But because the game killed us there, it didn't actually count as a death. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, death penalty. Excellent mechanic. Guild Wars 2 tried to emulate something like it with armor repairs, which we all now know in that game is nothing. There's no such thing as a mechanic of atrophy in Guild Wars 2, ever. Guild Wars 2 is all about short, sharp, sweet little instances and moving on. It's about fight the boss. If you wipe, /GG, let's give you all your skills back. Let's give you full repairs back. Let's go, get back in. It's all about intense, adrenaline-filled little actions. The devs have lost their capacity to provide, like, long-term and games of attrition within the sequel. And maybe you can just say that's where MMOs are trending and stuff, but I like this kind of stuff. So you don't want to die too much. Guild Wars 1, frankly, started devaluing death penalty by adding all kinds of bypass mechanics in terms of consumables. But we're playing factions right now, and we're not going to have those, so I'm quite excited about it. So yeah, we get 2 skills. We get the Weapon of Warding. So we can cast this on an ally, such as ourselves. We gain the buff. And what it does is it gives us health regeneration. And if people are swinging at us while we have the weapon of warding on us, this shield you can see is a bit around us, we block. We have a 50-50 chance to block. So we kind of half the damage we're taking while this is up. In some respects, the physical blockable damage. So that's cool. And you can spam it around. The other one is much more interesting. It is a binding ritual. So it's a special class of ritualist abilities that summons spirits. So this is not undead like necromancer undead. These are not minions that will follow us. But if I open my minion panel here, you'll see I now have another ally below. So we have us, we have Kasai with us, and we have Mai with us, and this spirit with us. The spirit will not move. We have to do other stuff later in the game to be able to get it to move. But that will swing and nut anyone that goes near it. And it will last for a while. It will last currently for 30 seconds and do 5 damage every time it swings. As we become a better ritualist, we can make it last longer, do more damage, and augment it in all kinds of ways. That's the fun of RPGs, which we will get to later. But yeah, so those are our starting skills. So now, while we attack with our wand, we also get to attack with that at the same time. And you'll notice how Guild Wars 2 did a weird thing where it was like, oh, we don't have auto attacks anymore, only to then just do auto attacks as part of the 10 skills. In Guild Wars 1, it's not a skill to auto attack. It's defined by the weapon you have equipped, but it doesn't appear on your skill bar. Alright. Stop here and look at your mini-map. You are the green dot in the middle. See the white circle around you? Any aggressive enemy that enters this danger zone will notice you and become hostile. So, oh, so those red dots on the mini-map are enemies, right? I was wondering about that, says Kasai. You are correct, Kasai. Students, proceed. So, this is a mechanic I do not miss. One of the biggest failings of Guild Wars 1 is over-reliance on mini-map aggro, mini-map red dots, and use it, basically just staring at the UI. You would basically play the game by looking at the art of the mini-map rather than using your eyes to look around the terrain. One of the greatest moves Guild Wars 2 ever did, and one of the strongest bits of design they ever made, was when they realized that this was bad for the game. Everything's visual, and you look at and you use your eyes for a lot of stuff in Guild Wars 2. There was very little of that in Guild Wars 1. Watching this stream, you're probably enjoying yourself looking at the full screen. But as a player, quite often, you are heavily incentivized to focus mostly on the maps. We might change this as the stream goes along. I don't know whether I want to use Toolbox, but Toolbox has some fun stuff. So yeah, let's move on. That ring as well doesn't just represent aggro range. It also represents standards. Essentially, Guild Wars 1's equivalent of 900 range. Sort of your standards range for most projectiles and spells and things. There are things that have wildly different ranges. Some things are very close range. Some things are enormous range. Like Ranger spirits are ridiculous. They'll cover massive range, or like certain bows shot from far away and high up can go very far. But most things, that white ring you're looking at on the minimap, it might be a bit small for Twitch. Should we make it bigger? Because we can do that in this game. You see that? Amazing. We'll put a modification on it in a second as well. We'll mod our UI with Umod. Don't you guys worry. Let's keep on going along the trail. We can look quite far away just to show you guys the difference of the graphics here. If I turn off advanced, oh, that's not a very big difference there at all. It's kind of good actually. Maybe they defaulted some stuff. But a lot of these distant mountains and things we wouldn't be seeing otherwise. Why are we playing Guild Wars 1? Because it's had lots of updates and people voted on seeing Guild Wars 1. Yeah, all weapons can auto. It's not a skill to auto. You'll see my guys just swinging and autoing. It's kind of a funny thing autoing as well. There was a lot in a lot of the better players, especially DVGs and stuff, were better at pressuring just because they understood their autos as a facet of their build, while most everyone else was only paying attention to the 8 skills in the end. But Guild Wars 2's seen a bit of that as well, not cancel casting certain auto chains between your next cast and stuff. But it was kind of a bigger deal in Guild Wars 1 than people eventually gave it credit for, I think. Oh, I answered a sub message, did I? Sorry. Oh, why am I playing Guild Wars 1? Yeah, I guess that got my attention. Sorry. Yeah, I guess so. So, here I'm failing to cast stuff and some things and playing a bit shit. But I maintain that it's because my skill bindings are all really messed up. So here we can regenerate our health quite rapidly, bring it back up. I mean, I say rapid, that's very little, but because we're at the start of the game, it's actually okay. So check it out, we get some loot here. It's a paper fan. Paper fan. We can double click. So a wand is only a one-handed weapon. So we can get the offhand as well. And we get 3 more energy on top. So that's nice. There's a bone staff on this guy's body. And you'll see down here, the camera controls aren't as good as the sequel, obviously. But there is actually physically a staff down there. So what we can choose to do is, do we want the two-handed staff? Which we have held here. Which gives us a 10% chance to half the recharge of one of our spells. 4 to 6 cold damage and 3 energy. Or do we want 3 to 5 damage from the wand plus 3 energy from this? So I'm going to go with the 1 because it's just better damage for now. Skill cooldowns aren't relevant for me right now. A 10% modifier is not like a chance, isn't that crazy anyway. But yeah, okay, that was the last of them. Now you've completed your quest, you come speak to me for a reward. Excellent work, but I'll explain a few last things, and then I believe you are ready to enter the monastery. So he gave us a new skill here. This is the Resurrection Signet. This resurrects anyone we want, but you can only use it once. So this is one of the very few core skills in the game. Every profession gets this. You can res someone, but only once until you recharge it under special circumstances, which I think he'll explain. He says here, we've gained a level. Your maximum health increased and you gained attribute points. Do you see the new button that says spend attribute points? Why don't you click that now? The skills and attributes panel lets you spend those points. You can access your skills and attributes panel by pressing K or using the menu. Okay, so we'll go to menu. Skills and attributes. And so here we come to a big panel. And you can see a representation of us and many others. Those would be our heroes, which we're not going to get in factions anyway, so you don't have to worry. But check it out. So here you can see what it means to be a ritualist. This is really the main panel for our class right now. There are attributes. Every time it's very simple, very clear. You level up, you get points. You can choose what you put those points in. Those points buff skills. And can do other things as well, but just to be clear. So this is your first vote, guys. As a ritualist, we have 4 different lines we can go down. Think of these like Guild Wars 2 specializations. We can choose to be a ritualist that's good at communing. We can be a ritualist good at restoration. We can be a good at channeling magic or spawning power. Well, what do these mean? Different things. So communing are related to summoning spirits. And getting more spirits and being good with them are better with higher communing. Restoration is about healing, life stealing, and defense. Channeling is about lightning damage and energy. And spawning power is our special, like, ritualist ones. For each rank of spawning power we get, our creatures get more health, our weapon spells last longer, and then all the skills associated with that stuff goes good. So, for example, if I spend my attribute points on communing here, we buff the skill Pain, because it's a communing skill. Every skill in Guild Wars 1 has an attribute line. Yeah? Well, not everyone. Some of them don't. The Resurrection Signet is no attribute, right? But most skills have an attribute line, a corresponding one. So if we want to make this spirit, the Pain spirit, stronger, we would need to buff communing. And as you see when I mouse over it, it says attribute communing. The thing is, we only have a limited number of attribute points. If we want to buff the weapon of warding, we should go restoration instead. Now, we only have 2 skills right now, but you guys can pick. I will straw pile. We'll do a very, very fast straw pile, right? And then we'll see how we go. We'll find a healthy middle ground here. So which attribute? I'm going to offer you communing, which is spirits. I'm going to offer you restoration, which is weapons. Restoration. Or I'm going to offer you spawning power, which is our generic one. And we'll sort of indirectly buff the spirit, but not directly. Alright, so go, quick straw poll, very fast. And while I wait for the results on that, I'm going to speak to NG. Each time you level, you get 5 points. Spend them to improve your attributes. Don't forget, later we'll get secondary. So our secondary profession basically is going to add a ton more skills and attributes we can pick. Your attributes enhance your combat abilities in many different ways. Move your mouse pointer over an attribute and hover there to learn what it can do for you. When you're ready, continue along. Oh, he won't actually progress the tutorial until we do it. Good job. 10 out of 10. This is the kind of shit. This is good. You currently have a rank of 0 in all attributes. Click the up arrow to the right of a particular attribute to increase the rank. The number inside the arrow indicates how many attribute points you will need. Try assigning them. Wow, that's 10 out of 10. Alright, so yeah, we will do it. The game's forcing us to. Communing. Everybody wants communing, it seems. Not everybody, but yeah, largely communing. So I'm going to dump all of them in communing here, and then what's left I'll put in spawning power. We still have an unused point. I guess I'll put that in restoration, because why not? There you go. But we did go majority communing. So now pain. Remember how that last time we cast this, pain only lasted for 30 seconds? Well, just from gaining 2 points in it, it now lasts for 46 seconds. It's gone from a 30-second duration to 46 just by going a tiny bit into the line. And from doing, what was it, 3 damage before? It now does 8. So we've like really strengthened it, and you can see how much some skills scale as this stuff goes up. Our weapon of warding will have got a bit stronger as well. Alright, so there you go. When in a town or an outpost, you guys haven't seen one of those yet, but you will be able to raise and lower your attributes absolutely freely, enabling you to experiment with different values until you find the combination that works best for you. What's mind-blowing about Guild Wars 2 is despite all the bizarre, ridiculous, unnecessary QOL they added in various places, the original design for traits was much more restrictive than Guild Wars 1's one. They had like, that was an economic sync and stuff. Anyway, Mai says, we won't go too deeply into that. Instructor, I noticed that when I increase my attributes, some of the number values of my skills change. So my attributes can change the effectiveness of my skills? That's correct. Any green number in a skill description can be improved by raising its attributes. So when we gain a level, our health will increase and we gain attribute points. Is there anything else? Yes, you also gain skill points. Skill points are used to learn totally new skills from trainers. You can also obtain skill points by completing important missions and quests. I think you three are ready to enter the monastery. Come with me. So yeah, anything green will be scaling. We got a bit more health, and you'll see now on my panel here, I have my hero panel. I'm level 2. I have a bit of progress towards the next level, and I have 1 skill point. So we can buy a 3rd skill when we get into town in a minute. Speak to Ludo at the monastery entrance, and he'll admit you. Good luck. Thanks very much. What a hell of a tutorial that was. Look at how well paced that was. See, if this was Guild Wars 2, I'd be level 80 already because of the booster, and I'd be wandering around the civil waste like, It's fine, guys. Do you really think I'm ready, instructor? Of course, Kasai. We would not have accepted you here at the monastery if you did not show great potential. These beginning lessons gave you no trouble at all. Thank you, instructor. You are very kind. Alright, we'll go with them. There is no walk bind, unfortunately. So you'll notice in the bottom right here, I have an icon. This is my weapon set. So weapon sets do exist in Guild Wars 1. Hold on, I'll read their dialogue first. Instructor is right, Kasai. You did well in the lessons. I'm sure you have nothing to worry about. I wish I could zoom in a little bit more, but not all the way into first person, but I don't seem to be able to. Oh, do you think so? Really? You're not just saying that to make me feel better? Remember what the instructor said. You would not have been accepted to Xingji if you were only mediocre. Listen, everybody on the stream right now, you essentially are at Xingji Monastery right now, okay? And what they're saying is you are not mediocre. There you go. There's a good little pick-me-up for you all. What do you think we'll learn first? I hope it's some new spells. Maybe fire spells. Oh, this is so exciting, is it not? I have heard that the new students get divided by their profession and then go to meet with their headmaster first. But I suppose we will find out shortly. Oh, yes, we will. We will have profession trainers. Some of the rarer quests in the game. Yes, those two do reappear in Winds of Change right at the end. Well remembered there to... Who said that? Alex Ijeki? You're correct. Ludo! I am Ludo. Welcome to the monastery, young one. I trust that your time with Instructor Ng was informative. If you cannot learn it here, it may be that it cannot be taught. Seek out Headmaster Quinn. Oh, a new Ritualist. Welcome. You should seek out Headmaster Quinn in the monastery. She and her staff will provide your training. Good luck. I'll seek you out. I'm Ludo. Welcome to the monastery. Can you let me in? Indeed I can. Let me know. And we're in. Instant party requests. Look at this. Is this the Spud Club? This is pretty hype. No, it's not going to be the Spud Club, is it? Someone here was waiting for us, though. So the party limit is already 4 players in factions. If we were doing prophecies, it would just be 2 people. But we can go through. Don't be mean, guys. Don't be rude in chat. Right, this system down here. Weapon swapping is a thing. However, it was a very niche thing that only genuinely good PvP players or very specific builds actually utilize much, but I will show it. So we have this button here for weapon sets. This is really clunky, but you can choose to toggle on more. So take a look down here. You see it says F1 there for me? When I click weapon set 2, a second box appears. And when I click weapon set 3, a third box appears. And when I click weapon set 4, a fourth. Now, with all of these ready, you remember this staff we got? I can drag the staff into F2. And now, what basically happens is you see I'm holding a staff. When I press F1, we go back to the focus and the wand. F2, back to the staff. And so what you can in theory do is have a staff that increases enchantment duration that you cast your enchantments with, and then you press F1 and go back to your anything else. You know, if you want, you could do the weirdest build in the world where that's a longbow on your other set, and then you just pew away on the longbow. There's some funny early prophecy stories about bizarre builds that do stuff like that, but that's the idea of weapon swapping. Again, in PvP it's actually, and various facets of endgame it's utilized, but for generic Guild Wars 1 gameplay it's not really. Look at all these party requests. Oh, guys, you've broken the UI. You've given me so many. Look at that. That's kind of hype. So we've got a level 20 assassin warrior. No ritualist with us. Oh, we got no friends. But here, I will accept the level 2 bacon and potato. Oh, who's now the party leader. So it's his job to accept people. Oh, did he just make me leader? No. Remember to select the skills you want to use before you enter any missions. You won't be able to change them. Well, don't worry about missions just yet, game. We've got a long time. So, coming back here, I'm going to put my res sig over here, just to be comfortable with it. And what do we want to do? Well, if we press L and go to our log, you can see we are supposed to be seeking out Headmaster Quinn. We get a bit of experience from this. So, over here, you'll see there is Headmaster Vang, who looks like an Elementalist. There is Headmaster Lee, who looks like a Mesmer. There's Headmaster Greco, who looks like a Ranger. These are all Canton flavored versions of skill trainers for the various professions. If I'd started as like this guy, Bacon and Potato, he's an assassin, so he'd be speaking to a different person. So the story will branch a little bit now because of our profession. So we speak to this person.
Lord told me you had arrived. Oh, welcome.
The spirits tell me that Professor Guy is... No, I'm not doing a ridiculous... The spirits tell me that Professor Guy is ready to begin your training in the Ritualist arts. It seems that some necromancer or other has left us quite a mess to look after. Not that I'm surprised. You can find Professor Guy in Sunqua Vale. Okay. So, we get a new skill. She just gave us a new Ritualist skill. Finally, someone with the presence of mind to choose the right profession. You cannot imagine how many ignorant students I meet who have foolishly chosen a lesser path. When you can harness the power of spirits, souls, and death, why would you do otherwise? What would you like to learn first? Well, we get 2 new skills, Vengeful Weapon and Painful Bond. So now we got another restoration skill. 2 restoration skills here. They're both weapons. So this is the Vengeful Weapon. We cast it on someone or ourselves, and it means that as we attack, we steal health from whatever we hit. And then we also got this here. This is a hex. So we cast it on our opponent, and as our opponent is hit by our binding rituals, like Pain, it takes increased damage. So if Pain hits something that I've put the Painful Bond on, Pain will do 8 damage, and they will do double. It will do another 8 damage on top. So now imagine I have a skill bar full of spirits that are all attacking something, and then I Painful Bond it. The numbers would just go insane, because all my spirits would all be proccing the Painful Bond. There's no target caps, there's no ICDs, none of that bullshit in Guild Wars 1. It is what it is, and if you can break the game, they let you break the game. And their balance team has a hell of a job to make sure you can't. So, you know, that freedom is really something we'll be able to have fun with. I mean, I'm sure there are going to be some ICDs. I enjoy your comment. Are there any plans? Content. I enjoy your plans. I enjoy your content. Thank you for the sub, by the way. Are there any plans for a Shadow of the Tomb Raider Let's Play? I love your old playthroughs. I'm not sure about Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I'm very excited about some things, and they're kind of above Shadow of the Tomb Raider right now. Maybe eventually it will be, I think. I was going to run a 6-Rit 2-Monk run, all with Signet Spirits, but I can't do it. Yeah, so you can only have one of each type of binding ritual in your entire party. So you can have tons of spirits. You can have a comp that has every spirit in the game. It's not amazingly effective. It's pretty flavorful. But the trick with it is that you have to not double up on it. I've just remembered that I had coffee for this stream and it's getting cold. So hold on, let me gulp some of this down. Oh yeah, some other stuff to talk about. As a Ritualist, we have special Ritualist armor. Armor in this game is profession based. So it's not like all light armors can share everything. If you're a Necro, you're locked into various Necro-looking outfits. If you're a Mesmer, it's Mesmer-oriented ones. If you're with Guild Wars 2, they broke down those boundaries a little bit, which they did to great applause. Everyone was like, "Oh yay, freedom! I really would like that." So in Guild Wars 2, Necros can wear any light stuff, can wear, you know, and it's just in 3 bands. With this game, all 10 professions had 10 very specific, stylized, distinct ways they could look. I mean, eventually they did add outfits to this game anyway and broke the whole thing. But during its heyday and for our purposes, it's fair to say that that was their design. Each profession looked very distinct. And I looked very fondly back on that. And my perfect RPG would pursue what the original Arena developers were going for. But you get a special outfit and also a special dance. Each profession has its own unique dance. For Guild Wars 2, that became races, because obviously things get a lot more complicated when you're juggling 5 races and professions. But the original game, in its simplicity, had these you know, benefits. We have proper boob jiggle. Are you guys looking at this? Are you seeing how busty we are as we move around? I can't believe they actually animated that on there. That's crazy. No ludicrous upskirts for you guys. You have to go to Sin, the NPC in Prophecies, for that. Some advocates for deleting outfits in Guild Wars 2. That was never the problem. It's that they're too cheap. It's all too cheap. The game shouldn't revolve around the gem store. The gem store should be ludicrously priced, ridiculously heavy, price gouged, ridiculous stuff that 95% of fans will never touch. That's what the all good cash shop should be. I stand by that, 100%. If you have cheap things on your cash shop, no matter what game it is, it reaches a level of market proliferation and saturation. It starts to interfere with the design of the game. So everything should just be ridiculous price gouge. Sell outfits for like 80 quid. Do it, because you'll still earn money on it, because whales will make up that margin. And now outfits will be very rare, very special little things that people will understand. You know, it's a little niche, it's a fringe, it's a corner of the game. I'd much rather that. No, I'm not being sarcastic. Yeah, do exactly how PoE does their cash shop. That's 100% how it should be. It keeps the lines very distant between what your game should be and how it should feel based on the mechanics within the game itself, and stuff that you don't want to think about, which is funding the company and stuff. Just price gouge it and let the ridiculous 1% pay out of the ass for it, and that's their choice and their decision as a consumer. And be upfront that that's what you're doing with your community as well. Be very clear that you don't want everybody interacting with your microtransactions, because you want your game to be raw and pure and true to itself. And you don't want microtransactions everywhere. It's bullshit. Anyway, I really believe very deeply in that. And I would say that for any issue with the Guild Wars 2 cash shop. I don't hate outfits, I just hate how many people buy them and how easily they buy them and how preferable it is to buy them than do other things. Anyway, I don't want to turn this into Guild Wars 2 rant, so let's go out of the front. So here you'll see we're getting a bit of fisheye, a bit of tunnel vision. This is because of the new field of view. Classically, the game looked like this. I might keep the original FOV, actually. I don't know. Higher FOV to me does not always just equal better. But yeah, this is one of the 2018 updates. What do you think, guys, about UI? Let me just show you some of the UIs that I've got as well. I'll turn a couple more elements on. So pay attention to the compass and stuff here. Minimalist UI. What do we think? Smaller. It's got black boxes where we don't have skills, which isn't very good, but it will have that part filled up very quickly. What else might there be? Do we want old school prophecies? Well, hold on. Let me load on. Do I even have the high-res skill icons on right now? There we go. I think we just put them on there. Oh, here's an interesting one for you guys. Dark glass. We could show dark glass off. Here's an interesting one for you guys. If we move up here, you see Sunqua Vale and the loading screen. You recognize what that loading screen was? Oh, this is going to piss off my party. I feel kind of bad. Someone's not loaded in. Connection issues. There you go. Sorry to everybody in the party. Now walk back in, and if you have a look at the loading screen as we come through. Okay, you see that? Now, interestingly enough, there is... Somebody did make one factions texture mod, which updates every single loading screen in all of factions to replace the concept art with screenshots of the actual places. So that was an area in Sunqua Vale. And I'm not saying this is decidedly better. I personally would probably prefer quality for quality, the concept art and the true developer thing. But I'm just saying it might be an interesting twist on... Oh, he didn't do different ones there. I'm going to turn that off now. I'm not asking you guys, should we run that? I'm turning it off straight away. But maybe later in the series we might do. And I thought that was an interesting little thing to highlight. All right, okay. Anyway, let's go out. Sorry to the party. I'm really sorry to everybody there. Let's go out. Let's explore the world. I will turn the UI off as well, I guess, for now. But I downloaded basically every different skin. And I do want to use those on the series as we go through. Yeah, why would you replace the concept art? Just because you got to remember, people get bored of stuff. They look just like difference for difference sake. I'm no stranger to feeling that way. Right. So, hello again, Ludo. I am Ludo. Welcome to the monastery. If you cannot learn it here, it may be that cannot be taught. So, beautiful opening vista. Really, we've just started the game now. And I just want to show you guys for the 2018 people, because I didn't do a good demonstration before. This is what... Oh, the thing is on Twitch, you might not get a very good view. This is how the game looked way back when. And if you pay close attention to the houses and things out here, they're really pixely and grainy, and there's not much detail there. If you look at the grass and the ground, there's not much detail. All of the trees are billboarded in a fairly ugly way. Actually, the trees haven't billboarded in a fairly ugly way, because that's permanently toggled on. But when I hit advanced, it's going to push the fog out. Now we get the full assets. You can go right down to each individual tile back there. And nothing is left out. Nothing is left to the imagination. It's all fully incorporated and rendered. And you can easily get your 60 frames on it as well. That's not everything. The shadows are much higher than they were before. The shaders are better. The AA implementation is better. All of that is already toggled on, whether I hit that advanced thing or not. But yeah, cool. All right. So where are we off to? Well, here's our world map. This is where we started the game. The 0.6% exploration was there. Then we got Xingje Monastery. As the ancient Canton name implies, Xingje is the jewel of Cantha, headed by the legendary ritualist Master Togo. The monastery, sorry, that's my storage space running out. Headed by the legendary ritualist Master Togo, the monastery provides training to students of all heroic professions, including the ritualist and assassin professions native to Cantha. Basically, if you're an assassin or a ritualist, you have to come to this monastery. If you start in pre-searing, way up to the north, in prophecies, you don't get those. If you start as a sun spear on the Isle of Istan, you don't get those either. You get different ones, Dervish and Paragon. Graduates of Xingje Monastery are recognized worldwide as masters of their chosen arts. And so this is the island. We're on an enormous island offshore from the mainland. The goal is right now, we don't even have to worry about the mainland or what the hell's going on there. I hope this stream somehow just recaptures the excitement of looking back at this. My jam back in the day when I was a lot younger and getting just that thrill of starting an RPG and realizing where you can travel to and be like, oh, I wonder what's out there. It's just, oh. An RPG hasn't given me that feeling for years, guys. Years. But I can still feel it a little bit when I look back at this. Don't forget to order a new 4 terabyte SSD from Samsung. A 4 terabyte SSD? Who's paying for that then? What's the end goal here? Will we finish faction story? And yeah, we're going to finish the faction story. And if all of you watching have buggered off by the end, we'll just go do another project. But if people still want to keep going, I'm happy to do Winds of Change. I don't mind. Whatever people enjoy, you know? So yeah, I got to be careful because these are human beings, not henchmen. So they're following me very well, but you know, they can run off ahead and get themselves in trouble. I don't know. So what do we got? We have Utah Boom Lam Pa San here. Very Canton sounding there. We have an elementalist called Igni Westlog, and we have Bacon and Potato the Assassin. So we got a Mesmer. Oh, he's not. Yeah, we got a Mesmer, an Ellie, an Assassin, and a Rip. So good job, guys. So Water Buffalo. And you'll notice here this mantid died and dropped its pincer on the floor, but it's not reserved for us. It's for someone else, so we don't get to pick up. Oh, here it is, chat. Enjoy it. Fucking enjoy it. What is this? Well, these are the famous and as yet unseen in Guild Wars 2 turtle enemies, the Kappa. So you guys can spam that if you like. I'm sure you'll enjoy. We will be fighting Kappa bosses. We will be going into hives within sewers filled with Kappa, pests as they are. We will find out where they came from. There's honestly not much lore about them at all, to be honest. I tried to make a Kappa emote for you all for this stream if you sub to Wood Potatoes. That was a Guild Wars 1 Kappa. But I kind of failed majorly at it. I'm going to die here. I need to be really careful. And what's really horrible is none of my binds are set up. So I'm going to hide away here. So, yeah, I don't know. If we get a ton of subs, maybe I'll try it again. If people really want a Kappa, then we can try and figure that out. But you'd have to put your money where your mouth is on that one, guys. $2.50. Let's see it. Thanks very much to Hanny242. But yeah, all right. What was all these blocks of text before the Kappas came in? Good morning, Rav. It's good to see you. I'll do Winds of Change in hard mode. Depends how easy or hard the game's felt to that point and playing with the community. Winds of Change hard mode is brutal. It is unforgiving as shit. It is the hardest like Golden Path story they ever did in the game. It is hard. So especially some of the low man areas. So we'll see, but I don't particularly feel the need. Just like I don't particularly feel the need to do hard mode just for the regular game here on stream for you all. So, yeah, there's a harbour down there. I'm not going to go there because I'm not sure what there is to do in terms of quests. We might have already skipped some quests, by the way, and missed some back at the place. So we'll check that out later. But here's our professor. It's Professor Guy. This is kind of funny to me because I guess the people playing with us, the humans, they don't need to go to Professor Guy right now. This is the moment where if you guys are playing along with me, you can get in Discord and chat with one another about where your professors are and go help each other on each other's quests. Headmaster Quinn believes you are ready for training, does she? Well, the spirits share many things with her that the rest of us cannot conceive. She's fortunate to have such an omniscient allies, is she not? Well, we'd better commence your indoctrination into the Ritualist arts. The onus is again upon the Ritualists to attend to the Necromancer's foul leavings. Once their number has lost control of an... Oh my god. Agglomeration? Is that a word? Agglomeration. That's a cool fucking word. So yeah, there's kind of a story. One of the questions that will have been on players' minds when factions came out and the Ritualists became available as a class is, okay, we can already play as Necromancers. We can already commune with the dead. So what's the difference between a Ritualist and a Necromancer? So the devs, I think, quite incisively had these early story steps tackle that head on. Once their number has lost control of an agglomeration of minions, which are now loose in the cemetery, I want you to take care of this problem for us. It will prove useful in evaluating your abilities. I shall give you some skills that may provide useful in dealing with this task. Once you feel comfortable with how these skills work, speak with me again to begin your test. I can handle a few minions. So there you go. We get 2 more skills. We get Union, another binding ritual. And we get another weapon, the brutal weapon. So these 2 are actually pretty good. All right. So Union. And because we've trained communing, we're okay with this. Create an ally. Whenever one of our friends takes damage, it gets reduced, and this spirit gets hit instead by 15. So if someone attacks Bacon and Potato here, this assassin ally of mine, if he ran over and got hit by the Kappa, in fact, can you do that, Bacon? Can you go get hit by the Kappa? As long as he's near the spirit will say, don't worry, I'll take that damage for you. And we can watch it in action. Let's see if Bacon does it. If any of the players do it. Go get hit by the Kappa. Oh, it's just died. But it dies after a while, right? So when the cooldown's up, we'll resummon it. And what you'll see is the spirit gets hit instead. There, stream delay has been perfect that he's going to get attacked now while the spirit is down. There you go. So there, do you see the spirit's been hit really hard? But Bacon took no damage. Here's another one. Watch for it. There, see? The spirit dies, but Bacon is protected. So that's nice. But the spirit has health, and once the spirit dies, it's gone. So we have to resummon it. Or we can later build more spawning power up to increase its health bar and stuff. Increase its level. Remember, we're creating level 2 spirits right now. But what if we could make level 20 spirits? Yeah? And then there's the brutal weapon, which is also good. I will give it to Bacon as well. I can pick an ally. I can give him the brutal weapon. And you'll see on the party here, he gets this UI element, this buff. And what that means is he's still attacking with his daggers. But can you see that they're glowing now? They weren't glowing before. They've been infused with power with the spirit weapon here. Do you see? There you go. They changed. Look, in fact, they do completely change. Here he's wielding his regular weapons. And now I'm buffing by giving him the brutal weapons, which still takes his regular stats and stuff. But now he hits way harder. He does +6 on every strike, which is a lot, okay? He's an assassin too, which means he attacks rapidly. So he's a good target for me to give this stuff to. He will see larger numbers because of that, all right? And that, you know, one of the monk things in the game, Strength of Honor, did something similar. But yeah, we'll go have him hit some more Kappa or something. Oh, I'm going the wrong way anyway. Let's go up this way. Let's open our map. Wait, what? Professor Guy just wants us to speak to him again. I guess I messed up a little bit. Oh, this is the cemetery, literally here. Oh, okay. Hold on, we got the quest is here. I'm leading the... I feel so bad for people playing with me, man. I feel so bad. You guys are just wandering around so slowly, hoping I don't go the wrong way. So this is the cemetery. It's very pretty here, isn't it? I quite like it. So Guy says, at long last, the thriving mind I have awaited has arrived. Most comprehend mortality only to a minuscule degree. You, however, will soon perceive the ecstasy of oblivion, for you will be a great ritualist one day. I expect considerable achievements from you, but not to worry. All who choose the path of the ritualist are already on the road to eminence. Oh my god. Eminence, the ecstasy of oblivion. Oh, my teenage emo mind will have been jerking off so heavily to this. Minions gone wild. I hope you are ready, McPoop, but here they come. All right, so let's do it. I'm gonna get Bacon to blow him up with a brutal weapon. Go, Bacon. Look at the damage he's doing there with the wild minions. Yeah. Now another one. Go again. I guess I can summon our spirits. Let's summon Union. I'm skill clicking because I don't have any binds set up. Yeah, another wave. There's even more. Let's give him another brutal weapon. Boom. And you notice how I'm not even attacking, right? But my spirits are, so I'm getting damage numbers. So, spirits are pretty good in situations like this. Defense moments, fortification missions, cleansing missions like this. Because you don't move much, so the spirits can get value constantly. When you're on an adventure, and you don't have easy ways of moving spirits and resummoning them, Ritualist gets punished. But any kind of defense or static scenario, you do well. Check it out, a bow staff. So the weapons you get and drop in this region of the world are all themed based on this region of the world. You wouldn't find a bow staff dropping in Tyria, in normal areas, or starting places like this. I mean, I don't know every drop, so who knows. But there you go, you've just obtained a new weapon. Let's check it out. So we have a bone staff, or now we also have the bow staff, which is lots of damage and energy. So I'm just going to put that in another weapon slot, and we'll have it equipped. So there you go, that's the bow staff. Looks pretty good. There we get a Kappa hatchling shell, which my allies just picked up. And the Professor. As I said, this was an excellent test of your ritualist skills. Your training is progressing at a most accelerated rate. Thank you. It gives me considerable pleasure to send you on to your next instructor. That sounds so dickish. I've only just met you, man. His name is Aang the Ephemeral. This is a very cool character, guys. Who remembers Aang? I'm very curious in chat if you know who Aang is straight away. And he is a cherished friend to many of us at the monastery. Believe me when I say that Aang is not what you are expecting. But if you hope to be a great ritualist, you will heed him well. He awaits you at the Pengyang Peninsula. I will seek out Aang the Ephemeral. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a reference to Avatar, yes. I cannot pick up items dropped by another player within the first 24 hours of account creation. But look, there's actually a shell on the floor that he dropped. Ugh. Alright, okay. Let's go to the peninsula then. I believe that goes through another outpost, so that's good. We get a little bit more lore as well. Do these guys want to do their quests? I will type in party chat. Their starter quests? We'll do their starter quests with them if they want. They have to lead the way, though. I probably won't do every quest for every player in every party we do throughout the streams because the project's not going to be that long. But since we're starting out here, and these guys have been really patient, and we're all level 2, I'd love to just do this with them. You have an unused Guild Wars 1 faction CD key for anyone who wants it. I mean, if you want to do a giveaway or something, that's cool. Just whisper them, I guess. All right, so these guys are up at this bell. I don't know what they have to talk about or what's going on. But this guy says,
How do you do? I am Ratsu, trainer of the Elementalist. Alas, because you are not an Elementalist by tradition, there is nothing I can do to earn this time.
Okay. So the Elementalist is now running over toward the water here, so I'm guessing they've got some kind of objective to do over there. You wish you could have helped, but you can't even remember how to play? Dude, I'm just clicking to move. Most of what you're seeing is me clicking on enemies, clicking on skills, and clicking to move. Literally. This is fully one-handed. Honestly, this would be such a good game to adapt for phones. Anything you can play one-handed is brilliant for phones. You are searching for the stone of the elements, are you not? Well, your luck is bad. This one is mine. If you have it, you can have it if you could best me in a duel. Wow, unfair duel. I'm not going to contribute. So here we're in a firestorm and getting grinded up. Whoa, he's actually winning. Hype. Oh my god, look at how low this guy is. This Mesmer is like so screwed. Oh my god, and the Ellie went down. I only just survived. Oh, if I'd casted Union though, guys, we could have protected ourselves from that firestorm. I'm telling you, Ellie got OP. Here's one of the things about Guild Wars 1. It happens in Guild Wars 2 also, but all the opponents you fight are using player skills and player attributes. They are in your makeup. It is literally like PvP throughout. It's one of the kind of cool ideas they had to easily, smoothly move PvE players into endgame, which was PvP, like some of those early ideas. Oh, somebody summoned their fire imp. That's cool. So when the devs went and buffed skills, it had effects on random areas of PvE. So, you know, when a firestorm got buffed in those later years, it means all elementalists in PvE got buffed. It turned out really unwieldy, and I get why the devs wanted to move away from it from Guild Wars 2 as much as they could. But it's kind of a fascinating thought that you could have a really cool dynamic game. You know how much balance updates mean to you in Guild Wars 2, right? You really care about it. If you're a PvPer, you care about it. If you're a World vs. World, you care. If you're a Raider, if you play Fractals, people like balance updates. But you only that's a one-way dynamic for you as a PvEer in Guild Wars 2. You just think about how that's updated, how you interact with the world. But if they found if an RPG could follow in ArenaNet's footsteps and find that perfect balance, then skill updates are a two-way street. It's not just about how we interact with the world, it's how the world interacts with us. And basically it's like a fresh coat of paint over all of it. I mean, and that's a beautiful, really awesome, engaging thing. Think of the value you get out of balance updates if you can straddle that line correctly, and it works to your favor instead of your detriment. I think incorporating a bit of roguelike design into MMO philosophy and stuff would be a perfect match of those things, so people aren't frustrated. Oh, it's so good. Alright, so anyway, we've done the Ellie quest. Who are we following now? I think they're all running on over here. It's such an absolute thing in Guild Wars 1 skills. It goes down to the code level. Beyond skills, there isn't much but boons, conditions. Yeah, I mean, and you can see it in Guild Wars 2. My famous example is, you guys know Dredgehaunt Cliffs. You know, the jumping puzzle near the dungeon entrance. Near Sorrow's Embrace, there's a jumping puzzle where you climb on some scaffolding, and then at the top of that jumping puzzle, there's an earth elemental you can kill. And behind that, there's an icy cave you can go in, which is a second jumping puzzle. There's 2 jumping puzzles back to back. You guys know that? In that icy cave, there's like these icy stalactites and things exploding in the room that you're supposed to avoid as a part of the jumping puzzle. What you might not realize is that's literally Elementalist skill, Shatter Stone. That is Scepter Water 2 that the devs have thrown in the environment. And whenever they buff Scepter Shatter 2, it buffs that jumping puzzle. So when they drop the aftercast, when they drop the animation time, when they add vulnerability, when they up the base damage by 20% every patch, when they do that, it's making that jumping puzzle more deadly. And that's an example of where the design gets very unwieldy and scary, because obviously you've got this enormous franchise. You don't want that to be a concern. So I can see why they moved away from it in Guild Wars 2, but they even get bitten for it in Guild Wars 2. But I do think there has to be a way that you could perfectly straddle the line and get the best of both worlds. Okay, so that's Jinzo for the assassin, who's a dickhead, by the way. If you watch my Let's Play, you'll learn all about that. You look lost. I am here to teach the ways of the assassin. You should seek out the headmaster of your chosen profession. Okay, I'll be on my way. So that's why that JP one-shot your Weaver. Did it? I wouldn't be surprised. It keeps getting buffed. I thought GW1 would have a lower viewer count. Over time, I think it will. People love the start of games. The question is, are people going to be enjoying factions when we're in our 3rd hour of slogging through Afflicted in Kaineng Center? That's what to watch out for. People love the opening of series, though. You can start any series and do pretty nicely with it. It's great to see everybody here. Can I just say, it is really cool to see everybody here. It's cool to see people enjoying Guild Wars 1, and I hope you do stick about for some others. I'm not trying to shield for myself or anything. I just love Guild Wars 1. I want to share Guild Wars 1, and since that will be the next few streams, there is a follow button you can click. If you never use Twitch, it will tell you when I go live. The days I go live is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, at the same time every day. If you could make it today, then you can make it tomorrow or the day before. It's always the same time of day. And I'll be back tomorrow. Same thing. We'll be continuing the campaign tomorrow. You don't have to spend money or anything. You just click follow, and that makes me happy enough if you come along. There you go. Some sincere shilling there. Up into the mountains. This was a weird moment for me as well, because I remember my great enthusiasm in Prophecies was getting into the mountains, and it was like a huge adventure to get out of pre into post Ascalon and then all the way into the mountains, and that felt so big. And then I realized that they were accelerating the hell out of stuff in factions, and they get you into the mountains straight away as well in this game too. But obviously they're doing like a almost Japan style thing, right, where it's like you're either on the coast or you're in a mountain, and there's very little middle ground. Thank you very much, Trick Shot, for Prime there, dude. The surprising thing to me about Kaineng was the immediate level jump. Finishing Xingjiao is 14 or 15, and then you're thrown in where everything's 20. Yeah, factions expects you to do secondary quests. It wants you to do as many. I got really stuck. When I first played this, I was an assassin when it was like horrendously unbalanced. And this is a campaign where most enemies that die explode in point-blank AoE in your face. Like, it's so stupid. But that's what they designed, and so assassin was horrible. And I was like an underleveled, weak little assassin stuck before Zendaijan. And I couldn't get through that mission for ages. It was really hard. But again, I've come to cherish that memory. I cherish every time I get stuck in a game. I remember that stuff. I'm scared that we're going to get blown up by these Elementalist quests now. Oh no, this was the Mesmer quest where you cleanse his hex, right? You have my eternal gratitude, friend. I was not in my right mind. Yeah, he's like perma-hexed and you've got to clear him. Yeah. Very impressive. I thank you for handling that. I wish I'd been able to myself, said Guardman. Oh, did somebody just do a warrior quest here as well? Listen, you guys, in this party, if you've still got quests to do, you've got to take that initiative and get moving, because otherwise we're going on with the adventure now. So here's a Sensali, it's a Tengu. I mean, we're fighting them a little bit early. He's level 5, and he's blowing up Bacons, who I probably could have saved if I cast, like, Union or Weapon of Warding or Vengeful Weapon or anything. Sorry. Here, I'll save you this time. Go. Go, Bacon. It's alright, I'll cast a Union. I'll actually do stuff now. It's because I'm trying to use my Naga for all my binds, and it's not on that by default. There you go, look. 0 damage, just the spirit died. Oh, look, people are leveling up. I'm close to my next level 2. Or attacks all the way. Totally. I mean, I've not shown you much ritualistic stuff so far. It's been a bit of a tour of some of the early maps again here for me. Did you hear Bacon? Yeah, one of the people in our pie is Bacon in mine. Oh, your name on Twitch is Bacon's Guy. It's good to see you, Bacon's Guy. Oh, that's me. I'm getting owned now. So if I just press 6 without a target, does it default to me? It does. Okay, good. Let's get back down out of the mountains. Things are dangerous here. I don't like it. Oh, now there's Naga. Oh, I love the fauna in this campaign. Frickin' Naga, man. Naga are like so. You guys are gonna look at them and just think, well, they're just crazy. What's so cool about that? And you're fair to think and say that. But to me, Naga are like big lads. Can I give him 2 weapons, or can he only have 1 weapon at once? The mini Naga is how I got rich in Guild Wars 1. I farmed the Domain of Anguish for months, got amazing at it. I owned like 6 accounts. I like would 3-man Domain of Anguish using heroes and multi-boxing, and I'd have 6 accounts loaded in all at once, and I would farm on my own Foundry of Failed Creations, City of Talker, and Ravenheart Gloom. We'd start in Gloom. And I'd open all those chests. I'd farm the shit out of money. So Utah's dead, and I'm the only one with a res sig left, and I've just left his body there. We'll zone him out when we go through the portal. Don't worry. And I took all of that money I earned, and I invested it in a mini Naga, which there was only 900 that existed in the whole game back then. And then when I sold my Naga, I had 2 full trade windows. So when I open a trade with a person like this person here. Look, direct player trading. Oh, I can't do it because the account's not 24 hours old. Oh, well. I'll show you that later. Oh, we can level again. I'll do that in a second. Yeah, I had 2 full trade windows full of stacks of Ectos. And that was before the ridiculous inflation that's there these days. And I was set for life after that. Mini Naga. Yeah, you have to wait a while for Signet of Spirits. I'm not going to be skipping stuff. We're going to get it in order. It's going to be fun. It will be... Signet of Spirits is a super OP elite skill for Ritualists. We'll talk about elites when we get later in the series. But, yeah, it's a super OP elite skill. But we only get it really late. So we have to play with other aspects of this class before we get OP. Which is good. I like that. That's fine. Alright, so yeah, Sumai Village. A new outpost. This is essentially an open world area. This pastoral agricultural community has remained virtually unchanged for almost 1,000 years, and its temples and farmhouses are among the oldest examples of ancient Canton architecture in the Empire. Thanks to the preservation efforts of Master Togo, wealthy tourists from Kaineng City have so far been prevented from spoiling Sumai Village's idyllic splendor and historic buildings. One of the vistas here was what I gave as reference material for one of the artists in the Factions lore episode. But yeah, and you can see the people we met before, by the way. Lucas. The name is Lucas, who we saw. He's also a student here. The name is Lucas of House Vasberg. You seem like a pretty good sort. Why don't you make sure to stay close to me, and you'll learn what it takes to become a legend. That's right, I don't intend to be a mere hero, but truly legendary. Epic, you might say. The crux of the matter, of course, is that it's not just accomplishing your goals, but accomplishing them in true style. I'll become the greatest of artists, and the battlefield will be my canvas. Now, what is it you wanted? He's kind of very Kos-like, to be honest. They wrote a lot of warriors that were like Kos. But he's more poetic and arty about it, I guess, which is his Kurzik blood flowing through him. Taya's here. Greetings, if you have need of healing, let me accompany you, or did you have a question for me? No, I'm okay. We're early game stuff, so we don't need a dedicated healer yet. Here's Kasai. My name is Kasai. You really look like you have a lot of confidence. I could say the same for myself. I'm not sure I belong here to tell you the truth. I just don't picture myself as some sort of hero, that's all. I mean, I'm nothing special, really. Not like Mai or Lucas or Asen or, well, just about anyone else here. I'll try to do my best, but I'm not sure that I'm good enough. Sorry to ramble on like this. Did you need something? So listen, she's the waifu. She's like, you know how attractive a really like nervous, unsure. What's the word? What's the word? What's that Japanese word for it? Can't remember. Anyway, look, this is the waifu archetype that you romance if you want. There is no romance system in Guild Wars 1, but yeah. Oh my god, nice rank there, dude. Kawaii, is that what I'm thinking of? Well, Matt, I am Yoon. The thrill of battle surpasses all other things. You'll never know you're truly alive until you feel the rush of blood through your veins. Did you need something from me? Here we've got Asen. He's a ritualist. He's cool. He doesn't. He does have dialogue. It's really hard to trigger. I am Asen of the Crab Armada. I am something of a rarity among my people. I was born blind, you see. Normally, I would have been left out in the jade, given to the sea. However, Master Togo convinced my father that I had rare gifts, that I could display my strength by binding spirits to my will. I owe the Master a great debt. Do you need something? I love that story. That's a cool backstory. I am very honored to meet you. I hope that our time here can be both pleasant and productive. Did you have a question for me? She's like the most normal of all of them. Alright. Sorry that people in-game. There's lots of local chat going on in-game here, but we can't, yeah, /Z rank. Oh, I won't have one, because I'm on a new account. Oh. Anyway, I'm sorry that people can't see it, because it's under the face cam. I'll fix that for upcoming streams. Honestly, I'm going to fix a lot of the UI, and probably mod it, and actually leave one on, and definitely fix my key bindings. Alright, we're going to finish this quest now. Let's go out. When they add romance and dating system in any Guild Wars 2, it'll be hectic. Oh, I don't think MMOs need that. Honestly, I think MMOs have enough unwieldy shit to deal with, than also trying to take on Bioware, who, as far as I'm concerned, are one of the only RPG makers that are actually good at romances. All right. And I don't mean unanimously so, before someone takes issue with that. So, the Pangyang Peninsula, you see another feature of Guild Wars 1, if you will. There's no actual dynamic day-night cycle. It's each zone is locked in a various period of time. Time of day, that is. So, some are at night, some are in the day. And I would say that Guild Wars 2's day-night cycle is probably better. But there's a certain flavor and sweetness that I enjoy about Guild Wars 1's style of doing things. I also think it lets the environment artists and the map designers have much more clear-cut design and hold over the lighting of their maps and what it will actually look like, which I kind of enjoy. And then you can tie like day, night, and weather changing to quests and things, and it can be a bit more meaningful. I don't know. Either way, we're now at sunset. So, what do we got here? There's a Crimson Skull Hunter threatening these farmers. I bring message from the Crimson Skull for farmer Zheng Zhou of Sumai village. That's close enough. Speak and then be gone. Captain Kui Mang of the glorious Crimson Skulls Guild orders the people of these villages to pay 2/3 of their crops in tribute. We will starve if we give you that much. What you ask is impossible. We have many mouths to feed in our guild as well. Surely a farmer eats less than a fighting man. Farmers work to grow these crops. You do nothing to deserve them. We protect you against ourselves, outsiders. None dare attack this village while we patrol these lands. You godless sons of Kappa rob the village blind. I take it your answer is no. Captain Quim Yang will not be pleased. You and Captain Quim Yang will go to the mist for all I care. This is not the end of this. She's a woman again. Why do I think they're all men? She's like a... She looks like a grade A bitch as well. She's awesome looking. Go home to your master and tell him we have no further use of you here. So the peasants revolt. Now I'm not sure whether that's a quest we can even do right now. This guy looks cool. You guys all look really cool. Is this genuinely just start a gear? I guess that's what happens when things don't look too flashy too quick. Oh, we've got a bit of a journey here, guys. It is a bit far away, but I think these areas aren't too dangerous. After all, no one would dare attack in this village. Oh man, that's the sounds of the birds and things in the background. HNNG. Oh, Wengar, dude. Mesmer's always had fabulous armor. You are blessed on this day, for you have met the great Wengar. No doubt you have heard of me, for I am famous throughout the Canton for my bravery and skill as a warrior. My skill is second only to that of the general himself. I'll be on my way. I love that response. It's so rude. Alright, so we're all level 3 now. More communing? You guys voted communing, so we're going to go a bit more communing and a bit more spawning power. There you go. We'll just consolidate a bit more in that. I am finding myself using the weapons a bit more here, though. I'm quite enjoying giving Bacon extra damage. But I don't know whether I'm overwriting. Yeah, tell me again, chat. I missed it. Am I overwriting weapons? So here, sidestepping, by the way, perfectly valid projectile mitigation, just like in Guild Wars 2. Don't know whether the devs have really been happy that it exists, but I'll use it. Do weapons overwrite one another, or can you have multiple weapons? I think they do overwrite, don't they? That's the whole point of the mechanic, because they're not enchantments. That's what separates the two. Weapons are unstrippable, but not stackable in any way, while enchantments you can. Yeah, it's one weapon at a time. That makes perfect sense. Thank you, guys. You can maybe see this as a precursor to Elementalist Conjures for Guild Wars 2, but at the end of the day, Guild Wars 1 Conjures were probably more of a precursor than anything else. You know, when I originally made a Rit, I remember being disappointed that you only get one offensive spirit early, but I'm really enjoying the other skills right now, to be honest. Just give them the weapon of warning. No, it's so close. Oh, the Kappa are ruining us. I've got to be much more supportive than I am, to be honest. Listen, guys, we're not going to fail that much. We have no support, so I've got to do as much of this as possible. I don't have any bounds set up to quickly select people in my target. It's all mouse click driven, so I'm going to be slow and crap at it, and I'm sorry. Also, when I start complaining that I'm out of mana, then you guys better listen. OOM, baby. Okay, let's just spam up a spirit and hope it attacks the spirit instead. Shake some aggro. So what the Kappa will be doing is casting stuff with ice spears, which are projectiles that feel a lot like autos, but they're really heavy hitters. I don't know, guys. I mean, the vote was pretty decisive. You wanted Ritualist. I kind of wanted to play Ellie, though. The more I'm seeing these Kappas, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if Ice Spear's stronger. I wonder how Exhaustion's... Because it's not called Exhaustion anymore, is it? It's called Overcast. It's like a whole new thing. So, here we go. This is our quest. These are the key falls. Beautiful. Screenshot that. Put that on r/cozy. Get hundreds of thousands of upvotes, trust me. Aang the Ephemeral. And look, he's a ghost. So he, as a Ritualist, we're not even speaking with the living right now. We're speaking with ghosts. And what do we see here? I imagine Guy was cryptic as usual in his description of me. Did I frighten you? You do not look easily frightened. Well then, let us get started. And you'll also notice he is wearing Ascalonian gear. I bound the souls of some bandits into objects years ago so that the envoys could collect them. Strangely, well, so here we hear this term envoy. That's big story stuff, so just, you won't know what an envoy is right now, but that's okay. We will learn as time goes by. Strangely, they never did. And the shackled souls remain here to this day. We will use them as test subjects for your newly acquired power, but be forewarned that they will show you no mercy if you allow them the upper hand. Please take some time to review the skills I have just given you. When you are ready, speak with me again, and we can put these souls to rest. So you notice here we get a monastery credit as a reward here. I might have even gotten one. No, this is our first one. So this is a currency we can spend on adventuring supplies beyond just getting gold. By the way, you can even drop gold in this game. I can't because the account's new here. Alright, so what skills are you going to give me, Aang? Oh, Spirit Rift, Hype. We can't equip all of them, that's the thing. Should we equip it now? What am I not using at all right now? I'm not really using the Vengeful weapon right now. So let's equip Spirit Rift. And the other one was Vengeful. Okay. So we can create items. We can create weapons, which are like buffs for our allies. And you can only have one, but they're unstrippable. The other thing we can do I'll create items. This is a new category. This is of the restoration attribute, but there are items for communing. There are items for spawning power and stuff. So here's our first item spell. Oh my god. So we summon and earn into our hands here. Look at this. So we're actually no longer holding our staff anymore at all. You'll notice that energy has dipped back down, and whatever benefits we were getting from our staff are gone. Instead, we're holding this, much like environmental weapons in Guild Wars 2, much like conjures, I guess, in Guild Wars 2. Eventually, it times out, so we got our staff back now. We're back up to 34 energy. But if you look, while we're holding this urn, it does stuff. So we are under the effects of generous was Sungrai. So Sungrai's ashes are in this urn, and because we have them with us, we gain extra maximum health. Look, we've gained 56 max health, putting us all the way up to 196. That's like, you know, 25% higher max health. And then also, it has an on-drop effect. So we could just hold it there for the vitality, or we can drop it to heal ourselves for 112. So that's an enormous self-heal. By dropping it, you see we glow and we get that. So that's a massive self-heal. And indeed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on the skill 6, and I'm going to treat that as our self-heal then. Just like a warrior would get healing signet, or a monk would get... What's a monk self-heal? I don't know. Horizon of healing is kind of a... But anyway, it's a cool skill. You'll notice, lastly, that to cast this, it takes us a second of casting time. It takes us 5 energy. But it also takes us 10 red stuff. That's sacrificing. So much like necromancers, we have to cut ourselves to do some things. So we sacrifice 10% of our maximum health to create the ashes, which nonetheless increases our maximum health, and then we can heal again at the end anyway. So quite a nuanced skill, honestly. That's like Guild Wars 2 levels of lots of things going on at once, really. But, yeah. There you go. Holy shit, I just had a donation. Pseudo Saint left no comment, no message, just did a tiny donation. Thank you so much, dude. That's lovely of you. Thank you. I see Dargo half an hour ago as well gave me £2.50. £2.50, you say put your money where your mouth is. You say Guild Wars 1 Cappy, you say sounds like a deal. Thank you, man. I'm sorry to miss that. I am really sorry that I missed that. Thank you, guys. That's very nice. So yeah, all right, there you go. Then we got Spirit Rift. After we create a rift in space-time, after 3 seconds, foes at the rift take massive damage, basically, and they will get cracked armor as well. So let's summon this thing and do the fight. Do not be afraid. I am Aang the Ephemeral. I am a Ritualist trainer. I've served Master Togo at the monastery for some years now, though time does not pass for me as it does for you, and I'm not certain how long exactly. In any case, I am here to assist in training. What would you like to learn about? When you're ready, approach these soul keepers and open them. Dispatch the shackled spirits using your new skills. I'm guessing because we have all these players, we'll blow it up, but let's see. All right, ready? So a soul keeper. A shackled spirit comes out. I'm going to create a spirit rift, and you'll see this rising orb. Rises, 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 and then you see that explosion of lightning at the end. That is honestly immense damage. Spirit Rift is really good. And it puts cracked armor on as well, which means they're more vulnerable to later hits. I'll try and get this, but they might die before. I mean, we just got so much pressure here. Yeah, so I can't really show the animation off. We'll come over to this one. And what we can do is pre-cast the urn. Let ourselves heal up without a combat health regeneration, which is very slow and gradual. Again, more attritive in this game. They're not scared of atrophy mechanics, and that's another one in Guild Wars 1. Oh, there you go. It did it. It did only a tiny bit of damage. Probably not hitting very hard because it's channeling, which is an attribute we haven't spent anything on. So I've probably bigged that up too much now. And one final Soul Keeper here. But this will scale heavily. When we pump more numbers into it, there I moved away, thus pulling the thing away, thus pulling it out of the rift, which was really dumb. But you wish Guild Wars 1 had mounts? It does. You've got Janundu and Siege Devourers and all kinds of little gimmicky crap to make you feel like you've got mounts. This game has no need of mounts at all, in my opinion, none. And in fact, the idea altogether is just kind of breaks the entire flow of everything, just as it did with Guild Wars 2. I see no need to stitch them into this game. The closest I would see is a profession coming with Utopia or whatever that was like a Lancer or something that had mounted like gameplay. Similar to how Rangers got pets, this would be able to swap through different mounts or something, but it would be a profession, it wouldn't be a global core thing. Yeah, Siege Turtles, Juggernauts. You will make a fine Ritualist one day, McPoopa. Thank you. Your training is progressing very well, McPoopa. You are ready to move on to the next stage of your journey. Master Togo wishes to meet you in the Linux courtyard just off the main monastery proper. There we go. So Master Togo himself would like to meet us. We've barely touched the peninsula here, by the way. Beautiful map. It goes really far. It's a gorgeous map. And we see some Tengu outposts all the way over there. But yeah, I would do more quests with you guys, but I'm afraid the stream's gone on quite long. So unfortunately, I'm just going to load back into Shinji. It was really fun playing with you all. And let me just be very clear. We're going to go up these very iconic stairs here as well, by the way. Every stream I do, you guys can make an account, come play with me. If you've enjoyed this, and when I stop being live soon, just get the game and just get to level 3, which only takes a few seconds when you're not waffling on about things for ages, and we can keep up. But here, I'm going to climb up here to the Linux courtyard, overlooking the monastery, all the way back down there. I think this was a good place for the advanced settings as well, by the way. You see those mountains all the way over there? If this was not 2018, none of that would be rendered back there. So you can like see really far off. Anyway, check it out. Here's Yijo. Remember I told you he's a student that's going to become like our rival? I sense a kindred spirit in you. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Yijo Tan, and you are McPoofbutt, are you not? I am pleased to make your acquaintance. May the fortune smile upon you. Hello, Master Togo. Look at this. MVP. Headmaster Quinn has told me great things about you, McPoofbutt. You have begun to learn the way of the Ritualist. But to reach your full potential, you must choose a second path. Speak with the other headmasters and learn what they have to teach you. When you are ready to make a final choice, come and speak to me again. Yeah, Yijo is basically a teacher's pet. That's a good way of putting it. Okay? And here, you see, he says, I understand from your headmaster your studies are progressing. And you heard it right, a secondary profession is now going to become available. Far too quick, to be honest. Far, far, far too quick. But the story dictates we must do it. So, we will, tomorrow's stream, get our secondary profession. And what this means is we will gain a ton new attribute lines of that profession and all of the skills of that profession. But we will miss a single attribute. So if we were warrior primary, we could invest in strength, but we can't. If we were necro primary, we could invest in soul reaping, but we can't. Elementalist, energy management, but we can't. Our primary special thing as being a ritualist is spawning power, this bottom one down here. But we can mostly get access to nearly all the class. And here's where we can start comboing and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. For early game, it's basically as good as getting the class still on. But yeah, so we're going to have to pick on the next stream between Assassin, Warrior, Monk, Necromancer, Elementalist, Ranger, or Mesmer. And we will go to those headmasters as a dutiful student at that point. And then the story will begin. Really, we're just at the start. There you go. It's about 3 hours on a stream to deliver what I would have done in one episode of my old LP. I fully recommend you guys go check that out if you like. Thank you very much for tuning in and coming along. It's been a very fun stream. I hope you guys have had fun. And I hope to see you all back tomorrow, same time. Yeah, that's about it. Cheers, everyone. Have a think about the profession. And I'll be back before you know it.